Whoa, jeez.
Oh my goodness. What the hell is wrong with everybody? All right.
Oh my god.
Absolutely nothing.
Friday night,
Absolutely
I'm feeling all
nothing.
right.
I'm
Hey.
losing my goddamn mind.
You have every right to lose your goddamn mind because it's time
It's
for it's Friday and
It's time to wrap up this present.
I agree, sir.
Who are you giving the present to?
I don't know. Whoever's the next DM.
The last 2.5 years were the gift,
That
and now
metaphor
we
didn't work.
unwrap it.
Well, I just showed our wonderful people in chat and hopefully more forward thinking in YouTube the teaser for what comes next after all this craziness, which is our Ravenloft campaign, which I'm looking forward to. We'll see how that works out.
Nuts.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
nuts in a different way, obviously, than Dungeons and Mage, right? Because let me tell you something: if 2.5 years of dungeon crawling doesn't make you crazy, I don't know what will. I just don't at this point.
Please
I
get us-
fucking love
please-
it. I love me a good
Dungeons
dungeon crawl.
Dungeons suck.
Okay, then. I'm also
Well,
gonna put
Put it on
chat.
his
Considering-
tombstone.
Considering
Dungeons
Raven,
suck.
considering that the next campaign is completely homebrewed, unlike the actual.
Kinda,
Next-
sorta. I'm not gonna say, like it's completely homebrewed. There's a lot of stuff that I'm taking from a great deal of influences specifically to specific to Ravenloft, which I'm.
What you're saying is homebrewed. It's not a homebrew world, just a homebrew campaign.
Ravenloft by
Correct.
Bram Stoker.
It's just like taking all the good stuff from all the things
Yeah.
that I'm seeing from places that I like the things, and I'm going, oh, that'll fit in real good with this, and oh, that'll feel real
That's
good.
how it works, Matt.
Yeah.
Is this your first homebrew campaign, Matt?
You haven't checked out the new Innistrad set with magic.
I'm going to go there, by the way. The Innistrad is going to be a very, very big influence
Coolest.
on this.
I wizards, if you're out there and you're listening,
Of course
No!
bring it
Always
into
out.
D&D.
Don't tell him. Don't tell him.
Do it. Do it. Do it.
They
Matt,
made
is this
well.
your
They
first-
did.
Haven was a success.
They did actually have a little offshoot about maybe
Yeah.
I think it was like 2 years ago for Innistrad to bring
Well, didn't they have
Innistrad
Dan
into D&D.
Richter's guide?
Well,
Into
that's
D&D?
let's bring it back a few steps.
Sorry.
That's
Well,
okay.
also, I want to
Go
ask about. I asked that question. I didn't answer. Is this your first homebrew campaign, Matt? Will Ravenloft be the first one?
No, it's not.
Okay.
I had a long time ago in the infancy of my D&D youth a homebrew campaign in second edition. Second edition.
How long has it been?
Don't ask, dude. Don't ask.
3.
No, I actually really want to know how long has it been since your last homebrew campaign that you DM'd?
Let's see. Probably
5 years.
no. Probably like 23 years.
Well, let me be the first to say, as a DM currently DMing homebrew campaign 5e, welcome to the modern era.
Hooray! I feel really old. Thanks.
You're only as
Fun, man.
well. Start feeling younger because you're only as old as you feel.
Hey. Matt,
Mhm.
pretty young.
I guess.
Everything's relative.
It is. Everything is relative, especially in the South. So, hey, listen.
What's that supposed to mean?
Sarah got it.
What?
What?
Never mind. Anyway,
I know what you meant. But I wanted to ask it anyway so you could be explicit about it.
we're not going to
and
go
say-
into those kinds of questions. This is not the time for those questions. This is the time for questions amongst all of us, as well as our friends in chat, who I'm sure will do us all of the services by launching questions in our direction, by sending questions our way, which I will be more than happy to distribute. Our friend and compatriot Iron Wolf is not here tonight. Personal always trumps D&D, and in this case, Iron Wolf has a personal commitment that he could not get out of, which we completely understand and respect, and so therefore, several questions he sent in our direction, which we will be more than happy to field tonight. But yeah, absolutely. You guys in chat who are here, send questions in chat. Just make sure you put the word question beforehand. No question is too big. No fee is too big. No, I'm just kidding.
There are some questions that Matt will ignore because it's funny. No, he won't do
I will probably, if you ask the same questions that we've already answered, just go back on the VOD and we'll We
Oh, I
Start
was
from the
thinking like really
beginning.
dumb. I meant really dumb questions, like how many chickens does it take to like? Anyway,
yeah, that's not really related to the campaign.
that's why I'm saying you
So-
ignore some questions if they're like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Make sure your questions are related to the campaign.
Campaign or D&D or just us as players or as DMs or what have you.
That's related to the campaign. All of
Sure,
this.
sure. Yeah. So
Is it though?
let's go ahead and start with any questions that you guys want.
Well, are we gonna do our little what we think our characters did with their second chance thing, or are we doing that later?
That's a great idea. Let's do that.
Probably.
No, that's fine. That's fine, Septur. So here's as a quick setup. If you haven't seen the finale of our campaign,
Go watch it before you
What's
watch
wrong
it.
with you? Don't watch the post-campaign wrap-up
What are you
unless you've
doing
seen the
here?
finale, right?
Everyone died.
Yeah. Well, you know,
We're all ghosts.
that's DMs for you.
We're haunting.
Well, some of
the
those are
dungeon.
zombies.
We
Some of
all
us are
got
zombies.
rebuilt like RoboCop, and the next
That's just
campaign,
Zeke. That's just Zeke.
Yeah, exactly.
we're
But
all
yeah,
playing as robots.
if you haven't seen the finale, go back and watch the finale because that is absolutely essential to any of the questions launched here at us. But
They're
that's
going to ask questions if they can't watch a 3-hour finale. Well, our questions are only. Take
I'm
like
not
2 or
going to
3
give
hours.
them a super duper recap of the whole friggin' 3.5 hour finale episode in the next 2 minutes. If you haven't done it and you're watching this video either on YouTube or what have you, just stop what you're doing because I'm about to ruin. No, just go watch it. It's really good. Everybody does an amazing goddamn job, and then come back here and pick up from there. So there we go. But the people who I have seen in chat, at least thus far, I'm pretty darn sure, watched the finale, so they will not be spoiled by any of the context that
Yeah,
we
I
have.
can
here.
go in chat now.
That's right, you can go
Oh,
in chat, and I can show you everything
shit,
and
yeah,
tell you all
good.
the secrets about the campaign and all the stuff that I actually put in and the stuff that I
I'm
didn't put
watching you
in
chat.
and the stuff that all kinds of. But we're not going to get into that. The first thing we're going to go into is based on the last 10 minutes of the campaign. We all saw some very interesting things occur to our 6 heroes, and I would like, since those endings were very open-ended, I would like to go in order and find out what each of the players who played those characters feel might have happened to their characters in their newly adjusted lifetimes. So let's go with let's start with Sarah. Ladies first.
Okay. So we saw Zeke with her parents. Now, interestingly enough, we saw her as a baby, so it could have all gone exactly the same way again. But I choose to believe that because in the wish that wrapped everything up, she told Hallister to be a better father, and we saw sort of parental snippets with everyone. I choose to believe that, like, the repercussions of wishes not always being exactly what you say, that the idea of being better parents just kind of like ricocheted out through everyone's timeline as we all got reset. So not that my parents were bad, but that somehow they managed to stay together. So Zeke was still raised by her parents, perhaps raised actually knowing she was a princess of hell, which is something she did not know in this lifetime. But also knowing Zeke, I'm pretty sure that would have chafed against her a little bit. And I do think that probably somewhere in her teens, she would have run away to Uncle Archie in Waterdeep just to, like, kind of like my Burn Bright character a little bit, be like, I cannot handle this shit. I need out. And she probably would have, like, run away to Uncle Archie to go see a little bit more of the world. Probably would have, once again, joined his criminal enterprise just because, but, you know, having a little more clout than she did maybe kept him a little bit higher up on the ranks. So maybe he wouldn't have found himself 25 grand in debt to the Xanathar as he was in the beginning of the campaign. And I imagine that she, you know, went adventuring, perhaps met some of these crazy people. I'm sure she had some encounters with Elbauthin along the way. Perhaps less friendly than what happened, but maybe some little echo of this future that never happened, like, bounced back and forth in their interactions, and maybe they were more amiable than what you would expect of a city watch. and a criminal. But I do think that eventually she probably would have, gotten it out of her system, grown up as she grew up a bit throughout the course of this campaign, and gone back and fulfilled her duties as a queen of hell.
Okay, cool. Thank you, Sarah. Let's go down to Septur.
I'm celebrating goodbye to Zeke with pink champagne this evening.
Love it.
Seemed fitting.
Pink?
Absolutely.
Apropos.
Pink. You
Super.
can't really tell that it's pink in the camera light, but it is.
I get it.
And I also have my beautiful Zeke charm
Oh my god, look at that.
that was
Nice.
supplied to me by our missing comrade Iron Wolf.
Oh my
These are the little, you can get these from Hero Forge. You can get them to make your mini in brass.
Oh my god.
Probably
with a little,
Dope. I need.
they're not, no,
Clemmons.
they're actually really reasonably priced. They're not that expensive.
That's super
Brass
cool.
is dope.
And he really wanted to know what they looked like, but he's like, I don't wear necklaces. So he got one for me and he got one for the other female player in our Wednesday campaign so that we could see what they looked like and send him pictures.
I wish I got a necklace.
So classy. So
I
classy.
bet if
that
you
guy.
said that out loud, you'd get one.
I have a.
No,
No, it's really, really
sweet-ass
sweet.
Photo from
I
our
actually
work
keep meaning to
campaign.
turn this into a
Thanks,
keychain
man.
because I don't wear necklaces all that often, but I take my keys everywhere I go.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
I tell Iron Wolf not to get me. He got me like a few things. Like, dude, I told you not to.
It's because he's a sweet man.
Awesome. Okay, let's go with Septur. Septur, what do you think happened to Talron?
Honestly, the very tricky question, honestly. Because, I mean, when I originally created Talron, he was always a man of being exiled, doesn't know much about society, that kind of stuff. An angry man. And same with the fact that with the end of Mad Mage, just saying he's got like a much more brighter, well, lifestyle compared to the original. That's honestly a very good question. I would like to imagine the events of Tomb Annihilation probably still happen because, well, I mean, there's probably like at some point like some kind of aura sense going around with the fact that magic is not able to like, resurrect people and all that kind of stuff. Tomb Annihilation,
Mm-hmm.
Still met his asshole husband. The events will probably still happen, but I'm honestly thinking because like originally it was Kyphon that gave him his powers,
Mm-hmm.
but with a different lifestyle, it's like
Where did he get his powers? Like, does he choose a different class? Does he choose, or does he a warlock of a different deity? Who knows?
Does he turn out to be a wild magic sorcerer?
Oh my
oh my
goodness!
god.
Illusions, Michael.
Just no, yeah, like because I would think the thing.
Maybe it's hard to fully answer this because I'm also part
Yeah.
of this, Matt. I don't know.
Yeah,
we're gonna head to you. I think next.
Well, I'm just saying it's hard for him to fully answer even just that because of.
Well, this is what he wants or would want Talron to have for his future, right? So, although I'm sure that because Talron and
Probably
Ferros
need
were
to
a
show this-
couple,
I would need to probably show the answer with Kraw, so
well, that's a possibility. But at least, the life before, if it is your choice that he would have found Ferros, fallen in love with Ferros, and that they would have eventually gotten back together, who knows? Then,
like
yeah.
because probably still would have ended up meeting up with Zeke over in the tavern,
Cheese fries,
What?
baby.
with the cheese fries. Yes. Again, it's just
Damn,
quantums
those cheese
and
fries.
I like to think it's like that whole quantums and variables. Like
Is that like a thing? What is that?
I'm trying to. It's basically like things are different, but some events stay the same, in a sense.
Okay.
I don't really know what the correct term is.
You got
Deja
me.
vu?
Probably.
Different but the same.
Only
So the idea that we don't all necessarily meet in the same way and have the exact same relationships, but we do somehow encounter one another and have some kind of relationship.
Mm-hmm.
Really
Yeah.
a word for that.
You're at least aware of each other.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let's move then quickly then to Ferros. Ferros, what or I should say Kraw, what do you think Ferros's future, based on the snippet that you all experienced, what do you think his future would have been?
I actually don't think Ferros's like beginnings are actually any different. In fact, they're probably exactly the same. So his father would have died. He would have went off. He would have been a Candlekeep before his father died. Went back, and wasn't let back in. Decided to like go around. Tomb annihilation thing happened, and I don't know exactly because Ferros was the initiator originally, not Talron. So I'm not sure what would have ticked Ferros off. I have actually no idea on that because originally it was the fact that Talron was like seemed like somewhat sure of himself while also being somewhat like standoffish, and that helped him with. And he's gonna lack the standoffish part because of his past, but maybe
But
they
now
didn't.
that
Go ahead.
sorry.
No, that was
Sorry, it's
perfect.
just no, yeah, like
I want to
considering
add on.
again, previously he was like angry and all that, but now he's just more positive, I think. In the
Yeah,
new
and
one.
I don't know if Ferros would like that quite as much, is a thing. Not that he doesn't like positivity, obviously he does, but the illusion of like showing off negativity is like his thing. At least originally. In Tomb Annihilation, he was a complete dick, right? He was like he didn't want anyone to know anything about him. He wanted everyone to just not talk about him.
Oh yeah,
And
wrote in his journal. Just...
fuck you all, right? That's what
Yeah.
basically what he was, right?
I remember.
Whenever someone died in the party, he would care. Like when Xeon died, he would like burn the body and like had the
Yep.
but like other than that, like he was trying to stay off as much as possible. He met Elbauthin, obviously. Elbauthin passed by and he respected Elbauthin, at least for a little bit. And but didn't never say it. Eventually going to Tomb Annihilation, I think it's very fitting, actually, that he dies in the tomb. And actually probably in the same way, in fact, a meaningless death. I think that was the perfect like death. Not as a player feeling, but as a character, it makes most sense in a story.
I hate that
Um,
trap so much.
Yeah, so him dying made a lot of sense because later on, when he gets resurrected, he has a different view on life. Considering that now, at this point, he's connected to someone. Unfortunately, that means he can't just go out willy-nilly trying to get himself to die and not having other people not care about him. So at that point, he probably would have become a paladin. His hair color would have changed due to the change, and he probably would have even met Fierna. I don't think that's a completely unreasonable thing because his father died. Sabina is still his mother. At that point, I'm actually not entirely sure what happened. He probably would have gone off with Talron wherever Talron went, to be honest.
No, yeah, and considering with the fact that Halaster Blackcloak is no longer a thing in Undermount, it's like that just leaves open for like whether what the fuck.
It's not working out too well. I tried to get my background
Matt
working,
is bored.
and
Wrong
now
board.
this is like a horror movie. This is so bad.
They met a background for the
Yeah, I'm
the
just gonna
stream.
blur it. How about that?
No, they
Hey.
met a background for the stream, Matt, because the chat's against a white color.
A background for the chat. I thought they meant for me.
No.
Okay.
Your background is fine.
Well,
Anyways, so at that point, once Ferros met Zeke, firstly, he's less racist. For some other reason, I don't know why, but he probably isn't quite. He still doesn't like Zeke for different reasons. Probably because she might not think highly. Well, she might think highly of herself. Who knows? I'm not entirely sure exactly what Ferros would have.
I'd have a little bit more of an ego knowing that she's the fucking princess. That's totally legit. I could see that happening.
He probably would have thought less of you then because of that. He probably have been like, well, this person is an ego and they think they're so highly of themselves. They're probably not all they're cracked up to be. They kind of suck. So you hate you for different reasons, basically. And yeah, at that point he just probably followed Talron around. I don't think I probably would have gone over Talron. I don't know where Talron would have gone afterwards. So Talron, I don't.
Probably would have just gone around learning about the world outside of the swamp and all that. So
Then he probably would have brought you to Bryn Shander at that point, even though he really didn't want you to. I imagine you pestered him about it because you want to see his home, and he doesn't want to go back because it's too cold. You go back eventually, and he shows he's around, but he doesn't like it that much. Perhaps even meeting. Actually, I would say definitely meeting Sabina. His mother.
Oh yeah.
Oh, meet the parents.
For those who don't know, she's a succubus, but she's not entwined with any devil. She would definitely disapprove of Ferros like aligning with Fierna in some way. But Ferros would have not necessarily shrugged her off, but basically told her like, "It's what I wanted to do." So
Can only imagine what the parents reaction to seeing the lizard folk is like. Though.
I'm sure she doesn't care. 'cause
Succubus. She
she's
definitely doesn't care.
I mean, have you seen a succubus? They kind of
Everything's hot.
yeah.
They
mhm.
can they can shape change also, so she could probably became. She probably sees it, and like my guess is what means she's like, okay, congratulations. That's it. Like,
Exactly.
like you think I'm gonna be mad about this? Why would I ever be mad about
Oh,
this?
honey, I'm so glad you found love. Moving on.
Yeah.
What'd you have for dinner?
Exactly. Exactly. And then I guess the last bit missing is a very important bit that Septur noticed. At some point, we would have done traveling and probably some adventuring. So at that point, we would have had he would have made Shellheart, and that's a really important bit. That was definitely not talked about. Some way, Shellheart, and it was pretty awful. He's probably not very nice as a kid because it was pretty obvious, but dealt with it. And
Oh yeah.
I don't know if we ever had a stable location, but I don't know if Shellheart were. Yeah.
I don't think we ever did though. I was wondering if it was gonna be like Waterdeep or it was gonna be like. Hard to say, honestly.
You guys you crash at Troll Skull Alley, which I never get to redecorate. Maybe I do. Maybe Archie does still like meet the island lady and go off, and I fix up the house and hang pink draperies everywhere.
Talron needs a job, so
Not really. We adventure and get money from that somehow.
Yeah.
I'm sure we do job from people. That's probably why we go off in places.
Maybe I hire you guys for something. Maybe that's how we meet.
Let's we've got two other people.
Oh yes.
Find out about those.
And
two
I do have Iron Wolf's little story too.
I kind of like
share
this.
at the
We're
end.
adding on as we go on.
Yeah.
I kind of like that.
I like
skip over to Iron Wolf.
No. We'll do Iron Wolf last because he's not here. So, Elbauthin, you're next.
I need a second to think about it. So
Sure. Okay. Well, That's fine. We'll go to Clemmons. We'll go to Clemmons. Go to Clemmons.
Well.
So what?
Yeah, go ahead, Tao. Ask your question first.
What
this
exactly
is a collaborative effort.
What exactly were you? So
Where
how
was I
exactly did
before
you
I
recognize
came
this?
Hold, everybody, hold on.
All right. Well,
Let's
I'm
let the man talk.
No, it's all right.
Sorry.
It's all right. No, you're doing wonderful, Talron. Now, let me think here. So, if I do recall, the last time I saw this wonderful band of individuals, I had myself a pancake shop in Waterdeep, and I believe it was named Clementines. If you do recall.
What about before that?
Now, I spent my so after Tomb of Annihilation, right? We finished that adventure.
Okay.
I started up the business, and I decided, that's what I want to do. I did it for about 6 months afterwards, and then a group of troubadours came into my establishment, and they asked me if I would be willing to travel with them. They had heard that I had some certain skills, and that I was, I was quick with a joke, and
Light up your
quick
smoke.
with and light up smoke. There you go. Thank you, Zeke. So they were actually a band of traveling bards, and from that day forward, I decided that I was going to learn how to play the steel slide guitar, and they were actually part of the spirit section of the bard school, and I was able to recommune with Clementine in that level with her. So whenever I play my music or I summon songs, Clementine's always there to keep harmony with me. Now, they said that they were traveling bards and that they were Vistanti, and that
Vistani, I think.
Vistani,
Vistani,
yes,
yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, from some place called Barovia, and that they were trained in this particular bard spirits technique. And, we traveled around for a little while, and I helped protect them, and we were a very merry band, and we got involved in a conflict with a Thayan wizard, who, if you'll be remembered from Cholt.
Motherfucker.
Oh my god.
Clemmons, would you have invited Ferros and Talron to this? Because you knew us, and we might have been in town. I'm curious now.
Well, it's one of those things, Ferros, where they kind of show up. They give you something. They say, "Hey, you're gonna come with us," and you kind of look at them, and You say, yes, I think I am. And
Okay.
then we went.
Aw.
Luckily, it turned out all right, and I'm very happy that I was able to reconnect with my Clementine on a more spiritual level. But
Aw.
I wish that it would have been a grand adventure. That is for sure, if the two of you had tagged along. Now, I did find out that they were planning to invade the Sword Coast with an army of undead soldiers and formed a contract with a remnant of the Dwarven kingdom to fight off the army. Now, it was crazy, man. After many losses, we found out that the only way to destroy the army was to destroy its leader, the Lich Saz-Tam. And after an epic battle with all sorts of, large amounts of armies being thrown in many directions by one individual wielding exorbitant amounts of power, with many of my companions lying dead at my feet.
Did you throw a ring into a volcano?
I didn't. I did not.
Okay.
But we were able to defeat this horrible, horrible lich.
That sounds
And,
amazing.
we made it up to the top of the tower. We challenged him to an epic fight at the top of this tower, and I failed him and smote him to the ground.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was pretty epic.
He's a lich, though. Did you get his phylactery?
Oh, yes.
What was the phylactery? Was it a ring?
It was a small object of circular nature.
It was let's just call it what it was.
It was a bracelet.
No,
it was a bracelet.
No.
It was a tennis bracelet.
It was his cock ring. Let's just call it what it was. It was his cock ring. Come
now.
on, let's
Hey,
just
Oh,
Hey now.
what it was. My liches will never, ever. You'll never expect that. You'll be like, "Where's his phylactery?" And everyone's like, "It's down there." And everyone's like, "Don't touch it."
That's true. You search the body, but do you ever really search there? No.
It's bad.
Nothing.
Mm.
Anyway.
Jesus Christ.
Now I'm going to do that in every campaign we play with you.
So-
Be like, wait, I check his penis.
That is. I lift up his penis and I check under his scrotum.
Aw.
Is there anything?
Da-da-da-da.
Find 2 silver coins. Beautiful.
Stainless steel.
Yes,
Oh Lord. Okay. Well.
I clean them.
Sorry. Continue.
Put them in my pocket.
So what happened in the new future? For
if you
Clemmons?
remember, so Matt, it was you gotta have to remind me here. So I was basically with Clementine on the side of a mountain, giving her my gun, right?
Showing her how to use it.
Right. Okay. Great. That's exactly what I thought.
Yeah.
So, basically, in order, the problem with that Clemmons never trusted in Clementine early enough that he didn't believe in her ingenuity and her ability to be a badass girl at the age of like 3 or 4 or however old she is, because she's just a badass and she's great. She's super smart. She's smarter than I am at that age. And I think that he would take that away and really teach her everything that he knows, because he knows that something's going to happen and he knows that he can't stop that from happening. So he's going to give her everything that he has before he knows that time happens. He will still go through Tomb of Annihilation. He will still have a fantastic adventure.
Well,
and
let me stop you for a sec, because if
Yeah.
Clementine is alive,
yeah,
why would he ever go down to Chult? Ooh,
I guess we wouldn't have those desperate times,
I
would we?
stumped him.
No, that's great. I hadn't thought of that. That's great. I mean, it's even better. Talk about happy ending.
Mm.
I mean, he then gets to just raise his daughter and
Yeah.
teach her everything that he ever wanted to give her.
Right.
And I mean, yeah, he can basically die happy in his cabin, knowing with his wife, knowing that he gave her everything that he always wanted to give her.
The best adventure.
what about having? So he didn't do the lich thing then?
Well,
Did
I
we never
mean,
meet him?
well, hang on. Let's think.
Mm-hmm.
So
I love this. I love everything
Tomb
about
of
this.
Annihilation would never have happened.
No. It would have happened. I just don't think that Clemmons would. I mean, this is me, but let's like logically grok this
Well,
out.
Ferros and Talron are already doing it. We already said that, right? That's
Right.
What we
So you
said.
guys at least go. So then, but what would be my impetus to go then?
Exactly.
If Clementine doesn't die,
Right. There's no reason to go down there. All mirage
she
or
doesn't
whatever.
ascend in that way,
Mhm.
right? For all those who haven't watched Tomb of Annihilation, go watch.
Yeah,
it.
I'm lost as shit.
Okay, so
Well,
to give
who's-
you a little primer.
What was your? I mean, I know the basic reason that there was some plague where people couldn't be resurrected, but what was Clemens' reason for going? Was it because his daughter was dead?
He thought his daughter was dead, but
Okay.
basically his daughter ascended with the beast that came after him, basically,
Okay.
and becomes one with the stars, basically, right? That's for lack of a better term, Matt.
Yeah,
right?
sure.
So then I go to Choltz and we go through this whole tomb, right? And everything goes, and then we get to the end, and in the phylactery, each of the gods, right? That's what it was. Each of the gods represents a different being, and that god had chosen Clementine to take over for them.
Gotcha. Okay.
The rabbit. That's
The
right.
all mirage.
So your
Mirage.
impetus to go was that you thought you were saving your daughter. So if she's not dead, you don't necessarily have a reason to go.
Maybe this
Now
is
I
an interesting
understand.
question for you, Clemmons.
Yeah.
So I can help you out, perhaps. Maybe she did die, and it was the soulmonger that took her, and that's why you came. And then you were able to resurrect her after.
Or maybe it was simply wreaking havoc with people that you cared about, and you went because you're a good person.
All these are possibles, but I love the fact that Clemmons, from Chris's perspective, lives out the rest of his life in happiness with his family and has no need. And who knows? Maybe Clementine is the one who's like really like.
Maybe
Clementine goes to human violation. I love that.
God.
That's awesome.
I mean, maybe she goes.
That's why I'm asking you, Clemmons.
My name is Clementine. Let's go.
She's the best, man. I did. She was a bard. Didn't I roll her up as a bard?
I don't remember. This is so long.
I did. We did because she was my backup character.
Oh my god.
That if
That's
Clemens
Oh
ever
my
died,
God.
that's great.
Clementine was going to come out.
That's amazing. That's
Just
amazing.
thinking about backup characters. How everyone had one, including
we should
me. Well, I
probably
never
ask
had one.
about-
I had to use it anyway.
Ooh, that could be a question for after this. What was everyone's backup character?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
yeah.
Okay.
I like that.
Anyways,
That's next. That's next.
I want-
We have.
After this, we got to finish this part.
We got to
first.
finish this part
But
because
I like
we don't want this to go 4 hours. We want this to go a short, maybe 2.
What?
Shh, stop, Kraw. All right, let's.
I mean, I got plenty of champagne.
Well,
so-
that's I can go into the other room.
I need
and
more Canadian.
pull
clubs.
out my
sponsor this
bottle
morning.
of scotch.
Sponsor the same thing. Oh, that's an old joke. Oh,
and
gosh, we're
bef-
gonna do that.
Yeah, our sponsors at Reese's
Speaking of
Pieces,
sponsors,
Reese's Peanut
speaking
Butter
of sponsors, but before we go into Alex, I see a very special person in chat who has just joined us and who seems to be.
Cups. Our lovely map maker.
It is our amazing map maker,
Hey.
Jasper Nielsen Siren, who has made all these maps.
former Tasty Crabs.
Yeah, for real. Like you can't do Dungeon of the Mad Mage without these maps.
They're so good.
They're fantastic.
They were really good maps.
They're really great. They're enormous. You cannot play this in real life. Like, if you were to map out all of Waterdeep in using Dwarven Forge or even just printing these fucking things out, you would go insane. You'd be going as crazy as Hallister himself. And so
Maybe you had like Joe Manganiello's gaming basement with his giant table.
it doesn't matter. First of all, if Joe Manganiello actually, put all these things on his table, he would have no room for any of his players to do anything on.
Let me like one at a time. He like preps for like we're on level 4, and so he has level 4 on the table.
It's possible.
And then he presses a button and
it flips over to level 5.
level
yeah.
5.
I mean, I feel like he might have enough money to make that happen.
He may.
True Blood was a very popular show.
He may. But suffice
Also, Joe, if you're watching, I want to play with you sometime.
Hells yes. I will fly out to Los Angeles. I will buy much Death Saves merch.
I'll buy all the merch,
Because it's
bro.
so good. But yeah, let's rewind here before we go into Elbauthin.
Sorry.
Because we're like tangentially, we're just shooting off like all these fucking this is me tangential. Yes, clip me. I don't give a shit. Here we go. Yeah, the actual ability to do this campaign just by doing a dungeon crawl without doing this online is kind of anathema to me. Because the fact is that even if you were to just print out the encounter maps for every level, and there are a lot, you would be just up to here in paper, right? Or up to here in dungeon, in Dwarven Forge, or whatever the hell, right? You would be switching out maps. Your spouse would probably kill you for the amount of storage space that you would take up just for the maps that you would have to make every week. And your campaign would take years. Versus
Hours.
Longer than this one.
Did.
no, like multiple sets of years. Like I would say, much more than this. And you would have to skip a lot. You'd have to skip a lot of content. We did a lot of this book, guys. We did a lot of it. You guys only skipped 4 levels out of 23.
That hit. Damn.
Yeah.
I thought we skipped more than that.
Actually,
Shit.
no. Sorry, you skipped 6 levels out of 23.
That's okay.
Quite a
That's
few
a little.
levels.
That sounds like that's a
4,
quarter.
5, 7, 8, 9.
We'll go into that in a sec. But that
We skipped some teens.
suffice
somewhere.
it to say that the maps are amazing. Jesper, you're amazing, and we thank you so much for partnering with us here in Slices and Dices, and we look forward to working with you in the future. So, oh, look at this. In some news, he says, all Dungeon of the Mad Mage maps are right now being converted to Foundry. Well, this stream is not supported by Roll20, so we can say awesome. Foundry is a great system. We like Foundry very much.
Well, they sponsor us, don't they?
Well, they sponsor us when we're using it. Walled and ready with some nifty stuff like teleportation of tokens when they step on stairs. That's awesome. Oh, man, I got to look into Foundry. Okay, cool. So
Foundry's, I've played a couple campaigns on it. It's pretty cool.
What is Foundry?
it's another VTT. It's pretty cool.
It's another virtual tabletop. It's
Let
interesting.
us
Was it Thanos? No,
let us switch now. Finally, Alex. Hopefully, you've had enough time to think.
Not yet. I think we should go to Talron.
We did tell
I'll do,
Ron already.
I'll do Dagrins
You
real
want to
quick.
do Dagrin? Okay, we'll do Dagrin.
Yeah, Dagrins is pretty simple. First of all, had he survived the last battle and had we all remained like in our timeline, his plan was to start a foundry known as the Sunset Foundries after his old home in the Sunset Kingdom, and eventually save up enough gold to mount an expedition to reclaim his old home with the help from his new friends, which I thought was really sweet. But in the new timeline, Matt showed that he became king, like he was supposed to. And so assuming that he stayed faithful to Moradin, which was his god, I'm assuming, he would have turned the Sunset Kingdom into a blacksmith powerhouse, producing armor, weapons, and war machines of all types, but only giving out the truly powerful weapons to people with good hearts,
How do you
i.e.
judge that?
the other people in the party.
Like, do you just like take the heart out and go, it looks pretty good?
Oh, shush.
Okay.
He also said he'd probably have a family too, since his lady love didn't die on the expedition that they went on that she died. And he gave me a quote, which is, "The best thing I ever forged was the friendships made along the way."
Oh my god! I feel
Aw.
like I'm
King
drinking.
Dagrin.
I'm drinking like
I
the
know.
sweetest Shirley Temple I've ever.
He said that to me, and I'm like, "Shut the fuck up! You're gonna make me cry, man."
Aww.
He's such a sap. He's such a sap. Like I thought I was like the biggest sap by crying in the last episode. James
Iron
is
Wolf, I know you're watching this in VOD. You are a very nice man.
James is adorable and gorgeous and a great person.
But-
We like him a lot.
You know,
All of those things.
I still find it crazy how if it wasn't for James, I never would have had the idea that I could carry a greatsword for my warlock.
There you go.
Mm.
That's
So how long do dwarves live?
about 250 years.
So there's the chance that he could, like, in his old age, we could meet then again.
Let me double check that. I'm pretty sure it's 250.
Because I think he had been dead for like 200 years or something like that. Yeah, before he got resurrected.
Yes, 200 years he was dead. How long
So,
did Dwarf
and
live?
he was not 50 yet. So there's a chance that when he was a very old man.
Sorry, average they
All of
live
us
about
still meet.
350 years, not 2.
So then there's
Yeah.
definitely a chance that that he could have met us again. He would have just been a much older, statelier, noble Dagrin.
Oh yeah.
I like this idea a
I
lot.
like to
Probably-
think Trailheart. I think Trailheart would have liked him more than I did.
Hmm.
Yeah, probably.
I have a feeling that not getting stuck in the mists together for 3 months or however long Ferros and
I
Zeke were
think
down
that
there
would have
together,
happened eventually. Something like that would have
something like that. Because otherwise, I would say they probably would have remained not outwardly hostile, because Zeke and Talron definitely still would have
Yeah.
become fast friends. But also, by the time they met, you two probably would have been married, so maybe Ferros would
I
have
don't
been
think
a
it
little
would.
bit
I think it would have been
less.
a little while after. It would have been a little while after.
Yeah,
I
like-
think we met when we were just a couple.
Okay.
But I like to think that a lot of things in Ferros' back, like stuff that happened during the campaign, that's why I said the death thing happened. I think it happened probably in some other way.
Yeah.
Perhaps since it sounds like you were adventurous, you might have gone off with us, and this is a perfect moment because maybe we went east and we went to the Dwarven Kingdoms, and perhaps
there
we
you
were given a job by Dagger. And
Ooh,
that
there
was
you
us meeting. And then something during that happened where you and I were separated by the other group, not by a miss, but perhaps separated inside of something else. And at that point, Ferros was not at all the same person talking to you alone.
Yeah,
And
I could see that.
You know, it's time.
I
to
like
get
the
away-
idea that, and I could totally see this being a Dagrin thing. Like, he hires us for a job, but the catch is that he's coming along, even though he's
Yeah.
like 225 years
also-
old.
yeah.
You know,
Because he's like, no, I need to do this myself. I need my last hurrah.
man, now I want to play this kind of campaign.
I'm not writing it. I'm not writing it. I'm just saying. I'm not going to do it.
It wouldn't be Mad Mage again. It would just be us going back to whatever level we started at, which was what, like 8? 10?
Oh God, when
Three.
remember when hey, Zeke?
No,
remember
not
when-
Annihilation. Mad Mage started at like 8 or 10.
Hey,
11.
Sarah, remember
11.
that time?
Okay.
Hey, Elbauthin and Zeke. Remember that time we decimated a whole group of drow and spiders like by ourselves with
Oh,
like
yeah.
fireball and cone of cold, and Elbauthin was like this like one shot in everyone as
Was
well.
that the one from inside my tower? Was that the one time that we actually
No,
used
we were
my
at-
tower as a
Those are
siege tower?
Driders. Those are Driders.
Those are the Driders. That's right. Sorry, I
That
was
was, and
thinking of a
Ferros
different
stayed
fight.
back for what was it, Ferros?
No, it was
Raxi stayed
you
back for
and-
quite a while.
Yeah, you and Krevy were on your own, but like me,
Oh,
Elbauthin,
oh
and Zeke were on our own.
yeah.
But yeah,
It
that
It
was
was
level
during
2.
the
I
party
know.
split. Yeah. Okay, I remember
Yeah,
that.
when the party split
Hey.
up, and so we ended up doing a whole bunch of. The only thing we could have done was AOE because it was like a mob of things.
I remember this.
And it was like, yeah, it was 2 AoEs and our distance fighter. So it was like, all right, everyone stand back and just shoot some shit.
Yeah, pretty much.
That was amazing.
That was super fun.
God.
It was super fun to watch. I was just like, let me throw the kitchen sink at them and let's see how many times they can just
And
off
I'm really happy.
people.
I'm really happy Ferros wasn't there to see it because he would have hated every second of it,
Probably. Yeah.
especially the beginning
Eris
of the
was such
campaign.
a pain in the ass on that level of dungeon. My God.
Especially
Running
the
off
beginning-
his fucking dungeon Yoko Ono.
Anyways,
Hey, you know what? Guess who kept all their promises, Zeke?
I mean, if I hadn't been sent back in time, I would have.
I'm just saying.
Okay.
so anyways,
So, anyways,
All
That
right.
would be the last one.
yes,
All right,
I love it.
Elbauthin.
All right.
Bring it home, baby.
Alex.
So it was actually Chris that brought me as a player into the game.
You really did.
Back at work years ago.
My God.
I
For
think
those-
this was almost 3.5 years ago.
Yeah, for those of you who don't know, I used to work with this dude and with that dude over there. Sorry, I'm doing the Tyrannosaurus arms here. But that's how I introduced these two MFers to this ridiculous channel and the amazing work that they do. Continue, Alex.
And then Chris
So-
brought me in when he left after Tomb of Annihilation.
Mm-hmm.
Septur.
Right. So
yes.
we
What?
really shouldn't say anything.
No, go.
Doc, Alex.
All right. So yeah, after he brought me in, we rolled up this character Elbauthin Petlen, who was not necessarily boring, but a pretty boring dude. And on purpose. Like he's the antithesis of edgelord. So if you have an edgelord on one side, then you have Elbauthin way on the other side. He
I thought I was
doesn't
here.
he doesn't want to call attention to himself. He doesn't jump into strange conversations. As you can see, he didn't do a lot of RP. He just kind of does what he's supposed to do. And originally on the trip to Chult, he was sent to Chult by this guy. I can't even remember the name of the
His name was Jalister Silvermane.
Silvermane.
Oh,
He
jealous.
died. Captain Jalister Silvermane, right?
You got it.
So
The commander at the time?
he was
I don't believe so, because his commander was Rulathon.
That's
Right.
right.
who later became my commander.
Great, exactly. My God, the things I'm remembering now, my nose is turning
Jalister got promoted.
He did.
I
When,
got-
Jallister got promoted during our campaign, I
Yeah.
think, or at the beginning.
Alistair died.
he did. No. Rulathon died. Jalister survived. That's the reason why Jalister got promoted. It's just the Rulathon got killed.
Yeah, like I vaguely remember that from like your intro story was you
Mhm.
went looking for Ulathon and they were like, "Oh no, he's dead. You
Yeah.
got to go report to
Yep,
Jallister."
that's exactly right.
Don't know why my brain remembers that, but it
Okay,
does.
okay, so then I had it backwards.
That's
This
okay.
was you. And I actually ended up shipwrecking in Chult and wandering through the woods, well, the jungle,
Right.
where I bumped into Septur,
I think so.
to Tuowo.
Uh-huh.
Calder was his
Yep.
character's name.
That's right. Yep.
Oh,
What was his
great.
character's name?
Septur's turned off his video.
Oh, it's just my
I don't-
internet like crapped out for.
I
whatever
don't
reason.
care. It's cool. Keep going.
It was Tuowo. What was his character's name?
Calder. Calder was the druid,
Calder,
the furball
that's right.
druid that he
It was
played. Yeah.
Calder, Ferros, Clemmons,
Talron.
and Septur or Talron.
Talron.
No, it's Talron.
Was the cat person there at the time? I can't remember. Or she
Uh,
died
Oh,
before. it went
right,
off the
yeah,
ground.
the-
Melanie.
What?
Melanie.
Melanie. Yeah. Fuck,
Nobody
I-
knows who we're talking about besides
Nobody.
the four of us. I think, maybe.
Nobody.
Yeah,
I'm not
I
excited.
took over for Melanie when
That's
Melanie
right.
died.
That's right.
Because she got thrown off a cliff
Yeah.
by some.
And then she apparently survived.
Oh, did she?
At the very end, she walked off with oh God, we see her in a tavern.
She was originally dating Talron.
That's right.
Oh,
She
there's
was.
some intrigue I had not heard in 2.5
You
years.
know, the funny thing is, I don't even think I ever had like. I
I
still
would
have
not
no
have a
idea how to
connection
that.
with
You
her.
guys had a love
Melanie
affair
was the
before she
one
fell off a cliff?
following.
Yeah,
I
it was that-
when I got
yeah.
there, you definitely said I'm sad because my girlfriend just died.
Yep,
I remember
yep.
you said that.
But you know, he was a young lizard folk. he
Yes,
doesn't
you were a young
understand
lesbian
relationships.
folk. You were jumping between love.
Technically, she was a girl, and technically, she was a friend. So maybe he just meant it in a very literal sense, like
Yeah, she's a
girl
friend that's a girl.
Yeah, exactly.
I always got the idea that Melanie had more of a connection to him than he had a connection to Melanie.
That's possible.
There
But
you
whatever.
go.
Continue, Alex.
And so we spent, and so I was sent to track down these agents of Thay, and I found them in a cave with a waterfall. So I hid behind a waterfall because Elbauthin just does a lot of fucking hiding.
Amazing.
And these guys start coming down the stairs as I've got my bow pointed at one of these Thay agents. And so I shoot at one of these Thay agents, and instead of dying, like the guy takes some damage, but he doesn't die, which causes the entire party to get engaged in combat, which created a confrontation with Ferros because I attacked an agent of Thay. And that was
Wow,
my
Ferros not wanting you to kill people? No, never.
That would never happen.
Never.
except that it's a contradictory thing. Tracking down Thay and got to take him out.
Gotta take him out.
And it turns out that there wasn't much involvement. I mean, there was a lot of involvement with Thay initially, but it turned out to be some greater thing, and we ended up spending I don't know how many months outside of the Tomb of Annihilation. But we spent months outside of the Tomb of Annihilation looking for artifacts that would open up the Tomb of Annihilation.
That's right. And we ran into that giant dinosaur.
That's right.
I remember that fight because
King
I
of
went
Feathers. That's the one, man.
Oh, King of Feathers.
The King of Feathers, the giant
Ah.
feathered Tyrannosaurus Rex.
Ferros tried
I
to
re-
save the fucking snake dude.
You want to, yeah.
Sarah, see what you missed?
And Pumbaa put his head through a 3-foot wall instead of the 1-foot wall.
Yep.
And broke himself.
Yep.
Yep. Still
Aw.
saved everybody.
He did.
Good job, Pumbaa.
Yep. They were all stuck inside a tomb
Do it
whilst a
again.
giant Tyrannosaurus Rex was trying to make its way in. That
At
was
least it
the
wasn't a Tarrasque.
We were in
I
the tomb,
I
we were
looked
in
up
one of
stat
the, we were
block-
in a
I looked up
temple.
the
That's right.
stat block for Tarrasque, and I was just like, "Fuck."
Yeah, man.
you
it's
did.
nuts.
You saw the Tarrasque
Literally,
stat
we were
block
like,
after
What
the
is this
fact.
thing? Can we kill it? And I was like, no.
That's why you guys all
everybody's
freaked
like,
the
"No, we
hell
can't
out
kill
when
it.
we ran
We can't
into
kill it."
one
That was
with
so
Alistair.
I don't care how meta this is. I'm looking. Holy shit!
The thing is, I knew what it was. I've seen the Tarrasque demo.
Okay,
Also,
that
I had-
actually makes it even more
had-
ironic that Elbauthin was the one who wanted to fight the Tarrasque.
Oh, he
Well,
did. He
At the
was
end.
trying to
After.
kill it.
I think Alex said he looked at it after.
No, but I'm saying that's like,
Or
no, he
this
looked at
wasn't
it
a
back
long
in Tomb of
rest, not an eternal
Annihilation.
one, right?
When we ran into one at the end of, like, the fact that in Tomb of Annihilation, he's like, fuck this, I'm out. But then at the end of Mad Mage, when we ran into one, he's like, yeah,
Yeah.
let's do it. Because Zeke totally would have been like, all right, fuck it,
Higher
let's blow
level
this
then at that
asshole
point. We were
up.
level like what?
We were 19 at that point. We hadn't
well,
hit
you
20
guys-
yet. We were
Annihilation,
19.
at the end of it, we were
See,
level
wait, we were
11.
like,
Yeah.
We were 11.
Oh, you guys were up. So
we
yeah,
were
but
level
like,
11 at that point.
that's funny. Like, from a meta perspective, it's funny that Alex was the one who wanted to run the fuck away in Tomb of Annihilation, and in Mad Mage, Alex is the one who's like, fuck it, let's get it.
I didn't run away in Tomb of Annihilation.
He didn't run away.
No, he did
No.
not.
He's with the group.
He tried real hard. He was like, "I'm gonna go kill him." We're like, "Stop! Don't! No! Don't go out.
Hmm.
You're gonna die."
Okay,
was
I misinterpreted the
And
story.
nobody
I
else
put my
died,
head in
but
front of
Lorette-
the door at one point. I was like, "Oh, wow, that's a bad idea."
Which door was this?
Huh?
One of the doors.
One of the
It's
4
probably
doors at
in
the
that
end?
little tomb thing. Because it tried to stick its mouth in, right? And then it started banging its tail on the roof and
Yep.
tried to cave it in.
Yep.
Oh, you're talking about you're talking about above the tomb in the,
Yeah.
in the
Right, we
city,
weren't
yeah,
even
so-
in the tomb yet.
Yeah,
No,
it's in the
no.
temple
Yeah,
that we were in.
outside.
So
the
are you
city. Right.
basically saying like Alex that Elbauthin lived the exact same life in his second chance?
I don't know what happens in Elbauthin's second chance.
Ah,
Okay.
I kind of didn't like that ending at all.
okay.
that
Well,
ending
then
was not
your
for me at
answer
all.
could then literally be he lives the exact same life.
Yeah.
I really wanted to defeat Yelindra, or whatever her name was. The girl with the
Justeria?
Yeah,
In a,
Justeria.
sen- in a
Justeria.
sense, we did. It's just that
No, we didn't.
Well,
we just
if we
looped it.
continue the way the fight was going, it
But
was
we
just,
looped it with contingencies, so she might not become a monster anymore. That was the plan.
it's just
Right.
if we were to have continued the fight as is, it would have
Except
been.
I think the Mad Mage is an asshole by nature. I don't
He's
we
like,
were-
Rick.
no,
Yeah,
we were-
but the thing is, it's a wish, motherfucker. So unless he can't wish his way out of being a better dad, that's part of my wish.
right. So he might have just inspired her on an evil journey along with him, right? Like
And the world melts anyway.
Or they may have both turned into better people. We'll find out when we play this game again.
Matt, you're running it starting next week. Get ready.
I mean, at this point, you've done all the prep. I mean,
Yeah,
you didn't
about
just
that.
move or anything. You don't have boxes to unpack.
As much as I'm going to miss Zeke, I am proud to wish her a happy future as a queen of hell.
so then after Tomb of Annihilation, we all went back to there was a nice ending. There was a beautiful closing sequence that Matt had put together that had all this animation and storytelling built into it with voices and stuff. That sort of incorporated Faye and the Mad Mage. I guess that never played out the way it was supposed to. I don't know. I guess it wasn't supposed to play out that way. I guess that was just the ending of the first one, but it was beautiful. And then I bumped into all of you in Waterdeep and ended up running into what was his name?
Grabular?
Crevular and arresting him.
Oh God, that
I arrested Crevular and Ferros. Crevular broke out of prison.
Classic.
Ferros stayed in prison.
I think that without Undermountain happening, I probably bailed Ferros out of jail, and it probably pissed him off a lot.
It would have pissed me off a lot.
Yeah, I bet I bailed you out, and you were pissed.
You know, you probably told Talron to just stay in the inn and just
Yeah, like you and I had become buddies,
we're like,
and then
fast.
he gets sent to jail, and I'm like, I got connections. Don't worry about this shit. And I pull him out of jail, and he's fucking mad at me about it. I love this.
There
Where's
was
my
always
time?
sort
I
of
did
a
it wrong.
tense relationship between a lot of the characters in Elbauthin, because I guess Elbauthin played a police officer and arrested one of the characters that wasn't in the campaign for a bit until we arrived at the first level of the Dungeon of the Mad Mage,
Mm-hmm.
where apparently he had been sent as part of
Correct.
his punishment.
That's great.
So,
Ferros
we-
respected Elbauthin for arresting him, so
huh?
Ferros didn't really have an issue with Elbauthin this time.
No, I don't think Ferros did.
He didn't care that you arrested him. In fact, he was okay with it.
And Zeke didn't realize that you were one of the cops who arrested her mom until like level 10-ish.
Yeah, that I apparently have arrested so many people.
Well, you're a fucking cop, man. That's how it goes.
Investigator.
I'm an investigator, though, like a detective. I solve
I know
murders.
about cops.
Bum, 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 ba-dum,
I really
bum.
love that, like you said, you rolled up Elbauthin to be boring. I think that's actually, it's so fun and it's so antithetical to D&D, where everyone wants to have like a big traumatic, tragic backstory.
Mm.
Well, like I said, like I was trying, like my whole point is like, I am going to make a fucking happy tiefling. That is what I'm going to do. I'm going to make a cheerful, perky tiefling. But I was drawing blanks on backstory. So I went and rolled on all the tables in Xanathars to give me inspiration. And I got, you were raised by an uncle. Both of your parents are in jail. And I'm like, okay, well, here's where we're going with it.
Exactly. I mean,
Because I was trying to be antithetical and ended up writing up someone with a semi-traumatic backstory anyway, because that's what the dice wanted, apparently.
I don't know. The dramatic backstory started to happen along the way as Matt started
Yeah.
throwing things in there, like your name is Helion and your dad was some elven king or some shit. But when I made Elbauthin, he was supposed to be the Mickey Rourke equivalent of
Yes.
he was
So
supposed to be,
But not blonde,
but
apparently.
no,
Just
nowhere
like black
near
hair.
blonde.
I
don't
mean,
know.
Mickey Rourke is blonde. That's why I'm saying.
No, but not
Where-
blonde. No, he's supposed to be dark.
He's a
and-
dark-haired elf. I think that would have been the best ending. It's just like Elbauthin
You-
takes off his hat and his hair comes with it. And you're like, what?
that
He's
everybody
secretly
wanted
bald.
to be-
He's actually got like
everybody-
a black buzz cut underneath the blonde
That's right.
wig.
I
attached to
Everybody
that.
wanted Elbauthin to have long blonde hair, so there you go.
I think what happened was that the fan art came for some reason.
Yeah.
And the first fan art, which is all good, right? It's all amazing stuff. The first fan art came out, and it was Elbauthin with blonde hair and this amazing hat.
Oh, yeah.
I love the hat. I love that.
And I think, I don't know, I think you might have given like the thumbs up to it and was like, this is
Yeah.
really awesome. I don't give a shit that it's blonde
I
hair,
think-
whatever the fuck.
Somebody had invested money in it.
Yeah.
I love that the hat
money into it.
came from fan art. I love that fan art became canon. That's amazing.
Yeah, I don't know where that hat came from.
That's
so-
Out of
great.
somebody's brain onto a piece of paper.
Oh,
Elbauthin
it's so
was a
fucking
job.
great. I love
You can't-
everything about this.
You can't have Elbauthin without that hat.
The thing is that Elbauthin is supposed to be tragically boring. Like that's his whole
Tragically
that's his whole
boring.
dive. He doesn't feel much. I think the most he felt was for a character named Valindra
Mm-hmm.
in Tomb of Annihilation,
Yep.
which then turned out to be a lich.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Kind of fell for the wrong chick.
Oh dear. Oh dear.
She was cute. She kind of had the same thing going on in a way because she was like emotionally vacant, and so
Dead inside.
yeah, sort of dead inside. And then found out later. Oh yeah, also lich, like takes the glamour off, just like rotting face.
Oh God.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's.
I wish I had the time in my life to go back and watch your Tomb of Annihilation campaign.
don't.
Honestly, we
It's
never-
really it's the quality of the stream is
But
garbage.
it also
Also-
starts like it starts in the tomb.
Yeah, it doesn't start all the way
literally-
through. We didn't start streaming till like
literally,
2/3 of the way.
we literally started moments like definitely after Ferros like died. So
Oh,
did
okay.
we? Do
That's
Yeah,
right.
it-
Ferros
I don't
Ferros
remember.
died quite a few
downstream.
times. That became like an occasion.
I don't remember. I don't remember if we
Actually,
recorded
who
this
has died? That's a good
stream.
question. That's a good trivia question.
Yeah.
Who's died more, Zeke or Ferros? Because Zeke
How many
died
times
a
you died?
bunch of times.
probably
Ferros
Zeke at
does.
this point.
At least three.
Zeke never permadeathed.
That's
I never
technically more than
permadeath.
Ferros.
That's
I don't
That's
think
true.
twice.
Yeah.
The Ferros
Did-
permadeath a few times.
He twice.
The-
Twice.
Okay, then
Well, it's
Ferros
not really
wins.
permadeath, but yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
Ferros
like-
dead for
True
way
resurrection
longer.
was the
Way-
way he came back. He came back through true
Ferros is
resurrection.
Yeah,
dead for
whereas I
way
only
longer.
require to revivify.
Yeah.
But
Oh,
I
man,
did.
can you
I
imagine-
did need to be revivified 3 times.
Yeah, that was.
Can you imagine?
Thank
if
you, Mad Mage Madnesses, that I was
Jesus.
under. Oh my god.
Can you imagine what would happen if we had to resurrect Ferros, though?
You did.
Again?
We did.
Well, I
we did.
mean, I'm trying to remember what's that one type of what's that one
Reincarnate?
type of reincarnate, yeah.
The one where they come back as possibly a different species in different class?
Yeah.
Yes.
Mhm.
That would have been fucking hilarious. I
Let
would
me-
pay to see that.
I'm going to close out Elbauthin.
Do it.
Elbauthin fundamentally is a character that loves Waterdeep to death, loves the structure of Waterdeep, and would have happily spent the rest of his life in Waterdeep, living out his career, completing whatever his career was at the time.
Then
Like that was his whole thing. His whole thing was protecting Waterdeep from external factors.
Then I think, Alex, that it is completely and totally feasible that the future, present or participle present of Elbauthin is exactly that.
Unless he gets orphaned and adopted by humans. But
There is no reason whatsoever to believe that Elbauthin may or may not have chosen that lifestyle, and that
I think Elbauthin is now some sort of warrior elf mage or some shit. I have no idea.
He's
do
a
you-
traveling warrior.
I do still like, and I'm going to throw this out there and you can veto me if you want, Alex. I like the idea that in some way, Elbauthin and Zeke meet in Waterdeep and bump heads on opposite sides of the law, but for reasons they can't quite understand, like come to a place where they get along. I like to think that maybe Zeke somehow in the second life still follows through with her promise to help Elbauthin take down the Xanathar.
Yeah, we were supposed to clean up that area of the city. That was
Yeah.
I was looking so much forward to that whole Xanathar.
So I like to think that when Zeke runs away to Uncle Archie to get out of her whole like Queen of Hell bullshit, and just becomes a common street thug for a while, like has her Princess Jasmine moment. In some way, while she's running with Uncle Archie, like helps out, like also because I mean, it's gonna help out Uncle Archie too, so it's a win-win. Helps it like does help Elbauthin, whether he's a lawyer or a cop, like helps him take down the Xanathar. And they have some kind of like strange understanding where like technically he knows she's not completely above board. And she knows he's technically the law, but they're like, we're cool. As long as you don't directly violate the law in my presence, we're cool.
Right. Or affect Waterdeep in some way. Like
Yeah.
summon a god
Negatively.
that's gonna
I feel like
Maybe.
I feel like most of Uncle Archie's crime was mostly like black market sales and shit. It was not like and black market sales and like racketeering. So like I may go break a few legs if someone hasn't paid their bills, but it's not like I'm actually like going out to destroy someone's life. And honestly, I also like to think like the reason Zeke's intimidation was so fucking high was the idea that she never actually had to hurt anybody because she was still chaotic good.
Did we
So the
actually
idea that was that she was just like, even though she was this little 5 foot tall, like super cheerful tiefling, when she got fucking mad, people cowered underneath her bed. So all she had to do to be an enforcer was show up, get pissed off, cast a little thaumaturgy, make the torches dance. They're like, "Here's your fucking money. I'm sorry, I pretended I didn't have it."
I mean
actually-
She was like the delicate enforcer.
Elbauthin wasn't like fair. He wasn't lawful good. He was neutral good. He just leaned.
Hey.
There was
Well-
only one lawful good member of the party, and that was Ferros.
And I don't think, did we have any non-good, or was Krev like true neutral?
He was neutral.
Crevular was chaotic neutral.
Rev was
He was
chaotic.
chaotic neutral.
And
Oh
that-
my god, that explains so
spirit.
much.
But it real, yeah,
I did not know that from the beginning. That explains
yeah.
so much.
Totally.
Oh my god.
That was fun.
There was a
I
whole
loved
Malkavian-
having Ferros yell at him, but
malcontent
everyone else didn't
theme.
like it.
There was
Or
something
just-
I was going to bring up, but it's one of my answers to Dagran's question, so I'm going to shut up right now and bring it up later.
In my
How
mind,
do you?
chaotic neutral should never be an excuse to be like, I'm the asshole, and I enjoy being the asshole. Please
But there's lawful
allow
good.
me to be the asshole.
I was
By
the
the way-
lawful good asshole.
See, you were the lawful
Different
good
kind,
asshole.
different kind of
Be a
asshole.
righteous
Different kind of
asshole.
asshole.
Like,
Yeah.
I love playing chaotic neutral, but to me, chaotic neutral is I think of myself first most of the time, and I sometimes make stupid decisions.
By the way,
But like never actively trying to hurt or fuck over the party, but like for example, like in Pathfinder, Grizzlin deciding that this guy is her boyfriend.
Mhm.
Like to me that's chaotic. Like to me chaotic neutral bullshit. Like the chaotic is mostly silly.
Well,
It's
there's different
silly and
kinds
I don't
Chaotic-
care about the laws of
chaotic
man.
neutral-
kinds of alignments, right?
To
Like,
me, it's insanity. Like just insane.
Mhm,
Like,
mhm.
well, there's
person
different
that is
kinds
just-
of like.
See, to me it's not. To me it is I don't care a lot. I don't care about the laws. Actually, no, because evil is I think about
Neutral
myself
evil
over
is
like
insane.
yeah. To me, chaos like the chaotic is about do I give a shit about man's laws or not? And the answer is a solid no.
Right.
Or society's laws, I should say, in these non-human worlds. And to me, neutral is
You have no
like
moral compass.
no to me no to me like that, and that's not what it is to me. Like to me, neutral is like good is I think of the greater good before myself. Evil is I think of myself first. Neutral is
Right.
like
I've always had-
sometimes I'll do the good thing, sometimes I'll do the self-serving thing. It's gonna go either way depending on like so like to me, if I'm playing chaotic neutral and I'm in a party and I love that whole party, I'm mostly going to behave in a good way because I like my party.
I've always had like a very.
But if I'm in a chaotic neutral party and if I'm chaotic neutral, I'm in a party where someone's pissing me off, that guy can go fuck himself.
Like for me with chaotic versus lawful, I always had the thing where, like, for example, Ferros, like he didn't just follow the laws of land. He had his own set of rules he would always follow. He never broke his own rules. Was a big thing about him.
Yeah.
And if he was chaotic, he might have his own rules, but he doesn't give a fuck. Like that's why neutral is like in the middle. Like he has his own rules. He might follow them once in a while, he might not. And then good versus evil. Usually, good versus evil, just how you interact with others.
Yeah.
So good, you're always trying to be nice. Not gonna say nice, but like you're trying to help other people. Versus evil, where you're probably trying to hurt other people.
I once played a Pathfinder game with a lawful good assassin because his lawful was sticking to his own code, and his good was that he would only take contracts to kill people who deserved it.
Oh, yeah.
So
You can bend it
Backup
however you
character
want.
question.
Oh,
let's see if I'm just going to structure this thing if we can. Thank you very much, by the way, everybody, for giving me what you saw as the past, present, and future of your characters. Let me.
What about?
What?
actually logging to roll 20.
Now, what about
Talk
Shaleheart, Matt?
He's not.
What happens to
he's- well, hold on. Let me before we go into the NPCs of this particular campaign. Let me ask if you guys have any questions for each other.
Well, I wanted to ask about the backup characters before we went into that even.
All right.
Oh yeah.
You guys.
Well, I mean, I don't know if you guys have been crazy, but I had a shape change as backup character. His name was Loraxi. He was actually had like multiple personalities.
We know about Loraxi. Thank you for your backup character. We
Uh,
appreciate it.
I mean, I'll tell you about my backup character. I might have to pull up Roll20 real quick to remember some of the things about him.
I love that Alex's backup character was Elbauthin II. Basically.
No, it wasn't.
Of course it
this guy-
fucking
It was
was.
a human
Allow-
gloomstalker named Elnan Pegasus.
Oh,
Ooh, we had
that's
that means
right.
we had two Gloomstalker backups because my backup was also a Gloomstalker.
Elnan Pegasus actually, and we had a little.
I-
We had actually a cameo from Elnan Pegasus. I think it was last year when we did that one shot at that horror game, and I think Elnan was like one of the only two people who actually survived.
Oh, Pajirik, I feel so bad for him. You guys even like me singing, and then you killed him.
Yeah.
By the way, so my backup character was gonna be a Warforged Kensai monk from Eberron.
Damn.
So if Talron was the parish, my character would likely teleport in, look towards Ferros, and be like, "I need your clothes,
Oh my god.
your boots,
Oh my god.
and your griffin."
Oh my god. Oh.
Nice.
No thanks.
I'm gonna read you. It's a little long. I'll try and do it quick. I'll read you the bio that I wrote. So my backup was Atlas Underdweller, and he was a Tabaxi Gloomstalker Ranger.
Dope.
And his whole look was literally based on this fucking cat that I was obsessed with from one of my cat groups. He's all black except for like this like abnormal splash of white on his face. There was this cat. There was this cat whose owners had named Flower because he looked like a black cat who someone had just thrown flour in his face.
Okay.
So that's what Atlas looked like. And it says, I come from the clan Underdweller from high in the mountains. The name Underdweller might seem strange for a mountain clan. But though the mountains are high, the caves are deep, and that is where my clan has long dwelt. Dark vision coupled with a natural propensity for climbing makes the winding caves the young Tabaxi's playground, and from an early age, I was always struck with the spirit of exploration. A few generations back, a large party left the mountains to explore a new underground territory, Undermountain. We received messages that they had arrived in a subterranean city called Skullport, ruled over by a cadre of glowing green skulls. Having seen many a strange thing in the caves themselves, nobody thought this report terribly strange. A few more missives arrived, saying that they had delved further into Undermountain, but not holding much more information soon after the messages stopped. A smaller party was mounted to go after them. They reached Skullport, but that was the last we heard. Shortly thereafter, Skullport became unreachable by water. One further expedition was sent, entering Undermountain through a portal in a pub in Waterdeep, but whether or not they reached Skullport, we never knew. The official expedition stopped after that, though every few years a hot-headed young clansman or two looking to make a name for themselves would venture off to Undermountain, never to be seen again. By the time I came of age, it had been at least a decade since any young Tabaxi had set off for Undermountain. The stories of the lost Underdwellers have always fascinated me, though I never gave much serious thought to hunting for them myself. I made a decent living as a guide in our caves, the surrounding mountains, and eventually the forest below. A year ago, I returned from a particularly long voyage to discover that a cave-in of unknown cause had destroyed our main settlement and taken the lives of most of Clan Underdweller. My mind was drawn once again to the lost clan of Undermountain. Had they survived and created a new settlement? Might we find a new home in Undermountain, or were they waiting to be rescued and returned to us? My old fascination with the stories quickly bubbled into an obsession. I had gathered odds and ends of information about Undermountain throughout my travels, and almost without thinking, I gathered my belongings and set out in search of my lost clansmen. At the time you would have encountered me, I would have been wandering through Undermountain on my own for 3 months.
Damn.
So basically what would have happened is had Zeke died irreparably, this motherfucker would have just stepped out of the shadows
Like, hey guys.
and been like, you're the first I have seen down this, like, you are the first I have seen down this far. Maybe we can help each other.
Mm-hmm.
But I like that would have been interesting if Elbauthin and Zeke had died. We would have had 2 Gloomstalkers down there. That's interesting.
Gloomstalkers
So-
are pretty awesome. They are pretty cool. I
Yep,
like
I
Rangers.
think
They really are. I'm going to need to play one day because it's a cool ass class.
Vanessa played one. I think she's playing one in my campaign that I'm running. She hasn't played it in a long
Nice.
time. It's fun. Anyway.
So,
Oh no.
So
Uh-oh.
you're out of champagne. Okay.
It's okay. There's a bottle of rosé in the fridge, but
so
either way.
2 Gloomstalkers, Laraxi, and a robot.
Well, yeah.
Amazing.
That would have been very interesting. I don't know how the hell I would have.
And
pulled that out of my ass.
whatever James. Well, James has
Well-
we've seen James's spreadsheet of backup characters.
Oh
Oh.
my
He
god.
literally could have been anything.
Those aren't exactly back here. Those are kind of like big challengement characters for each class.
I actually-
Well, no,
Wait,
he's what he
wait.
told me is that he comes up with a character idea and then levels it to 20. So if he's ever called into a campaign and they're like, we need you to have a level blah 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 character,
Makes sense.
he just back levels to
You
whoever he
know-
needs it to be, and he can ask like, what do you need? Do you need a healer? Do you need a
My
fighter? Do you need
You
like?
know-
God.
I
you know-
fucking admire that level of commitment.
You know, no
That
one-
feels like something that I would do if I didn't have 10,000 hobbies.
you think. No, yeah, because I think I remember there was a couple of options, though I don't really remember one of them, like what that name was called directly. I definitely remember one of his characters was probably gonna be this Minotaur
Yes.
named Joe Wren, and he
Oh,
was like
did-
big freaking- I think it was like a rune knight, or I don't remember exactly. I just
can
remember he
Oh
was kind of
god,
around.
probably-
Rune Knights.
I just remember he was like carrying around like 2 shields, and like that was his like gimmick.
If I
Alright.
scroll far enough, I can.
It's just funny that all of you had
find
backup
that.
characters. I made Lorexi the week after Ferros died.
What
Straight
would
up.
have happened?
Braxy was a character you had played before, no?
Into Annihilation.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. You made him a week after Ferros
When
died.
Ferros died the
Into
first
Annihilation.
time, into Annihilation,
Okay.
I didn't have a backup character. I said to Matt, I don't make backup characters unless my characters die. Character dies, then I made the backup character. I'm the only. I don't. Yeah, it's fine. I made Lorexi that week after Ferros died. You all have these backup characters. Like, I got nothing.
I had this robot character.
Found it. Joe Rend is a Minotaur Rune Knight. You are correct. And he already has art for him, according to his spreadsheet.
Oh yeah. Oh right. Yeah, he got it from Zonis. Yeah.
Nice.
Matt,
I
you
tr-
mentioned something interesting in the campaign. I'm sorry to interrupt the Jorin. I think something was
No, go for it.
but you said about a Laraxi one shot. Is that still happening? Possibly.
Maybe. We'll see.
We do have a few weeks off.
We do, but I have to
What?
do things and people and we'll see. Maybe.
What?
That's why.
I thought we were
That's
gonna
why.
do-
Yeah.
I thought
That's
we
why I
were
say what
gonna
happened.
do
Laraxi.
the
Well, Pathfinder's Thursday.
The 30th.
Whatever did happen to Lorax?
Is Thursday? I thought it was Friday.
That's why I didn't want to say because I wasn't sure if Matt was still planning on that.
Here's the deal. Actually, it's a scheduling thing. I had thought it was the 30th because wasn't sure what we were doing on Friday the 1st. We could do it on the 1st. We could do it on the 30th. If everybody's around, if everybody's cool with it, we could do it on either day because I got nothing. How about
Yeah,
them
Friday
apples?
would be better than a Thursday.
I agree.
Yeah, I'll check. with
Getting
them
Burn
also.
Bright on that Thursday.
Jesus Christ, you're really going full bore on this Burn Bright shit,
I would
aren't
do.
you?
I would do it. I would do it if everyone wants to.
Oh my God, you're making me burn bright my nose off. Here we go.
Well, I'm gonna ask Stare right now. Stare.
All right. Well,
Not entirely
we'll work
confused.
out the schedule like we always do. Now that this campaign is over with, we have to.
Red just said they don't think they can do Friday.
There you go. That's for the Pathfinder thing. So if we can do Thursday, Alex,
Mhm.
then
You're back.
I think Red wanted to keep it going with Thursday, if at all possible.
The Pathfinder thing.
Yeah.
So it's going to be really difficult for me to do Thursday.
Okay.
Thursday, I have a training session.
Okay. We
So-
can work it. Listen, with the fact that Red, can you do any Friday? Maybe not just this Friday, but like next Friday, the 8th, for example.
Why don't we figure this out offline?
I think that's a good idea. That's what we have our
Okay.
Discord for. Oh my God!
And
I'll
now's
tell you
the
what,
perfect
if
time
we
to plug
don't-
the Discord.
Now,
If we
bam,
don't
bam,
have
smash
anything
that
for this
Discord button.
Friday, I'll try to cook up an online fiasco for Friday.
Good gracious! Good gracious! I'm so.
If we don't have anything, I think even though I start my new job on Monday, fiasco literally you do all the world building in session. I just need to figure out the best way to organize the info online.
Hot. I love it. Let's do it. I'm down for it.
So if we don't have anything on the board for Friday, I'll figure out how to run one of
There
those.
is currently nothing on the board for Friday at this point. So
All right, I'll do a fiasco scenario on Friday.
fuck yes. Okay. Cool.
People, it's a 100% role playing game. So
I love
people, let me know who wants to be in and out, and
We'll
I'll
work it
figure
out.
out how to run it online.
it. We'll work it out on our Discord.
Work it out offline.
Let's see if we can head back to our campaign wrap up questions. Okay, so with our characters and our backup characters at this point completed, let me scan chat and see if there were any questions that were posed by any of our wonderful chatters that were in any way serious. Here we go. Gordle Gray will. Oh, here we go. This is a question for Septur. Septur, will you try the new Dragonborn, available most likely coming out with Fizzbands as well? You know. Yeah, that one.
Oh, the Fizzbit. Well, I mean, that was probably just depends on like. I mean, I don't see why not.
Okay.
But like, I mean, that just depends if there's like another campaign going on and I'm like free to play.
Yep,
Like that
yep,
kind of
yep.
stuff.
Cool.
Where is there a new Dragonborn being released?
Well, there's basically like different types of like Dragonborn types.
Yeah.
That's coming out in November for
So
Fizban.
beyond the colors and the gems, like there's new Dragonborn like sub races.
Those are the UA ones that are gonna be in the new book, I think.
Correct.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah, like how like how in Kraw's like Wednesday game, like I have
Your daughter is a Sapphire, I think.
yeah.
Yeah, okay, yeah. I didn't realize that was UA. I thought Gem Dragonborns were part of regular. Okay.
I mean, they've been UA for a while. It's just that now they're
Gem
officially
dragons are,
gonna
but
be
not Gem Dragonborn, right? There's only.
Okay. All right. I knew.
Oh.
Yeah. Okay. I didn't realize that Gem Dragonborn were UA
Yep.
because there's a lot of UA in Wednesday. So
Yeah.
I'm not always sure what is and what is not.
Okay. Stair Dweller says, "What is your favorite spoon? The one that I can fit in my mouth. How about?
All right. Can I pose Iron Wolf's question because it's a good one?
Yeah, hit me.
All right. Let me scroll up. I want to find the exact wording.
Is this a question for me or is this a question for the group? Or
This
what?
is a question for everybody.
Fuck yes, let's do it.
And Matt, honestly, I feel like you could answer this too. The question is, he wants to know what everyone's big hero moment was. Like, what was the thing you did in the campaign that you felt was the most epic, or a few if you can't choose. I feel like Matt, you can also either answer that as a DM, like what was your most badass DM move, or what was the thing a player did that impressed you the most.
Okay.
And I'll give you Dagran's personal answer was throwing down in the one-on-one fight with the Duragar mummy.
I like that one. That was fun.
And my response to him was also how fucking hard he got his ass kicked in the final fight and didn't go down was super goddamn impressive. So others, I got to think about this ahead of time because I already knew the question.
Good. You can go last, Sarah. Give everybody else.
I was like, or unless, go
ahead.
talk.
Septur.
I think my personal hero moment kind of has to be like that one, like that during the fight with the Neolithid, and who kept trying to swing at me like each and every time, but I had that the busted hex shield ability that the Hexblades had.
Armor of Hexes?
Armor of Hexes, yes.
Fuck that.
And
Fuck that.
I was invincible.
God damn that bullshit.
It's just
50% of the time, it works every time. I get it. Okay.
That and the Neolithid had like a fucking cold.
Yep, that was funny.
Just
the Neolithid having a cold. Was that a wild? That was a wild magic
It
surge.
was.
That Neolithid.
was.
Yes, it was.
just fucking hell. That was chaotic. Rest in peace, that one monk.
Oh, dude.
Gith.
The Gith who just.
Our little Gith friend. Sorry, dude.
How about
Fuck.
Alex? What was your hero moment?
Honestly, I think my hero moment was during the sequence with the giant blue thing, the giant blue creature woman thing.
Is that also the Neolithid?
No. In the final, like the arena fight.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Oh, the double crit.
That was
part.
insane.
Oh.
That
That
took
was-
off a third of her health, like 140 health or some shit like that.
That was
That
incredible.
was beautiful.
That was like
I remember watching that. I was
fucking
like, oh shit.
dis-
Yeah, it
that
was double
destroyed
30s,
her.
wasn't it?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Sick.
it was
Like, dude,
gorgeous.
Yeah, he did like 175 points of damage or some shit like that.
I have
Yeah,
to
it
go
was-
back to the
it was the other
videotape,
day.
as Warner Wolf would
And
say,
then-
but that's a lot.
And then in Tomb of Annihilation, that was the most heroic fight, right? That fight lasted God knows how many hours. It was
Mm. Which one? The one at the end? I'm assuming.
yeah.
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 Part 1 or part 2?
The
Holy
baby or
shit.
Asarak.
Yeah.
The baby and these.
Yeah. I had to split that
Killed
shit
the
up.
baby first.
You had to kill the baby
Oh.
first. Why am I talking about this in DD? Yeah, the Atropal. Oh, let me show Sarah what it is that they.
No, don't do it.
I've got the
no.
mini.
Where-
I've got the mini.
Oh, show
Yeah,
me
I
the mini.
know.
Yeah, show it to me. I want to see it.
I'll be right back.
You guys talk about Tomb of Annihilation all the fucking time, and I don't know what the hell is going on. So I
was
like
fun.
any little bit of info I can get.
It is such a bullshit like
I'm gonna
Here's
say,
the-
Chris, for this question, you can either go this campaign, like your appearance in the campaign, or Tomb of Annihilation.
So they don't actually have a mini for this. So what I had to do was I went out to a guy who does miniature sculpts and 3D prints and stuff like that.
Oh my god, you went hard for this.
And
I love it.
And then he painted it.
And then I painted it.
This is why I love Matt. This is my level of nerd. This is beautiful.
So
My level of geek,
I was.
guess.
This is another story that I unfortunately get to tell you guys. Maybe this is my flex moment, right? So
Do it, flex for us.
So here's the thing. Here's this is the Atropol.
Holy
Oh.
shitballs, that thing is terrifying.
It's got a
Yeah.
little like umbilical cord.
Back it up a little bit. There you go. Now it's in focus.
That is.
Yeah, that's fucking terrifying.
It's
Yeah,
fuzzing out
yeah.
because of the background.
No, when you're right there, that's good. That's a good, relatively good position. Yeah, yeah,
Uh,
that's scary as shit.
So yeah, they fought it, they killed it, and then its dad came out and
Got pissy.
Serac
Lich.
was like
Instantly
yeah.
Instantly killed Araxi.
killed Laraxi right off the bat.
Aeserac was dead, or
Serac was its creator.
Creator,
Because
like I said,
yeah.
you guys have given me like through Mad Mage, I've gotten a decent
Mm-hmm.
understanding, like enough to understand roughly what you went through at the
So
end.
at the same
Ah,
time,
hi, cat.
We didn't go over backstories again either for a character. So a lot of backstories you just didn't know about.
that's true.
A
That's
lot of
true.
characters did.
That's true. But for Tomb of Annihilation, I was running you guys through the online Tomb of Annihilation as I was running another group through a live version of Tomb of Annihilation. You guys were the first, they were the second, and then COVID hit.
Yeah.
And I never got to like build the final tomb with all of my stuff, put all the minis in, and I had like,
Aw.
you guys remember the final fight in Tomb of Annihilation was over like a triangular pit of
Yeah.
lava?
Yeah.
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 I built that
like-
shit and I had it in storage, waiting and waiting and waiting. And then COVID hit, and they were all like, "Yeah, we're gonna do this online." I'm like, "But I have I have a mini."
Matt, I want to play live with you someday.
You would.
Same.
You did. You just weren't on my table.
I get, but that's the thing. I wasn't on your table. We were in the same room, but I wasn't on your table. It's different.
Mommy. Okay, sorry. I'm putting that down.
We can teach we can teach my husband how to play 5e together.
Oh god damn, yes, Brandon would be amazing. All right, so that was
He
my
should be a
flex
bard.
moment. Alex's flex
Oh my
moment.
god, yes.
Yes. Septur's flex moment. Craw's flex moment. Craw, you didn't do yours. You just came back.
No, crowd into us.
Do it.
I was on my phone, so I was talking through my
Yeah,
phone.
the
but,
question is
I know
this is
the question. I know the
Iron
question.
Wolf's question. Okay,
I heard
cool.
it, yeah.
What you got?
I heard it. So the question, first of all, is TOA or Dungeons and Dragons?
Either one. I don't
You
give
can
a
do both at
Either.
this point. Go for
Yeah,
it.
because I always come back to this one in my head from TOA, to Annihilation, long before the. I think I know what my Mage one is too. I think if you guys would guess, it'd probably be obvious. But in to Annihilation, there was one time where we fought a undead T-Rex in the jungle,
Oh god.
and
No.
Oh, I have that too. Hold on. I'll be right back. Keep talking. Keep talking.
Yeah.
Keep talking.
there was an undead T-Rex fight, and well, so one important thing about the T-Rex is that it can only bite the creature that it's biting on. It doesn't swallow them, but it can
Huh.
bite a creature. Well, for us, it's a pretty high AC back then. It's like 18, and we're only like
Oh.
level 5 or 6. I think this is before
Hmm.
Clemmons joined. I'm not 100%
Yeah,
sure.
this was
Fuck,
right
that's a
before.
good AC for that level.
Yeah, it was like 18 or something. Yeah, it was 18 because it was 16. Actually, it was 19 because I had the defense style. I know, maybe it was. I'm not sure. But regardless, I had really high.
Because you were a
AC. It-
fighter back then, right?
yeah, I was.
Yeah.
And it bit me, and I was in its mouth. It grappled me, and Matt was like, "Do you want to escape?" I'm like, "Well, can it bite another creature from its mouth?" No. All right, I'm staying inside, and I was attacking it while inside its mouth. It could not bite another player, so every turn, instead of attacking another player, it would be biting me instead. And
That's
so,
a figure.
and it
Yes,
couldn't hit my
Vinny.
AC. It only hit my AC, I think, the first time. The entire time, Ferros was inside its mouth. It couldn't bite through its armor. He was just sitting there, and he couldn't do anything against the other players. And the players were attacking him and killing him while Ferros was that was
That
Ferros
is
like
such a fucking Ferros move.
it really is.
It's great.
It's beautiful. Yeah,
Bite
no, that's
me.
100%. I wasn't even there, and I'm on board for that shit.
Yeah,
Salute
it,
you,
it-
sir.
It made so much sense. I guess the Yuan T moment, but that's a little different. I don't really call it hero moment. And then finally in Dungeon Man Mage, I mean, it's pretty obvious the Fallen Angel,
Mhm.
where he casts a ceremony.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Yeah, that's pretty
And
fucking
he actually
valid.
we got nat 20 when he was lower access form, so didn't even need to because actually he would nat 20 would have been enough.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's good.
But yeah, like that. Obviously, when he brought I think it's Fazriel.
I think
he brought-
Gorgeous.
for
Cast Ceremony
me,
of Fazriel
when
to
the
change
dice when the dice tell a story is when a DM really sort of, You know, like no matter how much a DM tries to sort of push a story one way or the other, when the dice tell a story is when a DM goes, that's just it. That's it. Yeah, I don't give a shit. That's it. That's the way it is.
What was
Like,
your favorite?
for good
player
or
moment?
bad? For
I'm
good
gonna
or
let
bad.
Matt do his favorite first, and then I'll tell mine at the end, since I'm the one who asked the question. Unless you want me to
I
go
wanna know
first.
Matt's favorite player moment personally, and then maybe DM
Yeah.
moment. Up.
My favorite player moment.
I mean, if
What's
you want
one
me,
thing-
all right.
What's one thing you always think about when you're thinking about games? Like, what's one thing that always like rings in your head?
I'll tell you what. I'll let Matt think about that, and I'll give you mine because I think
Yeah,
Matt actually
do that.
should go last on
Do
this.
that. Go ahead.
I have like
Yes, I'm
minor
fair.
is
Yeah.
like still I will never forget my nat 20 31 intimidation to make Ferros and Crevelier stop fighting. I'll never forget that ever. It was so silly and so inconsequential, but to me it was like the dice roll was so perfect. Otherwise, most satisfying was spending an entire fight as a fucking frog and then finally getting my true form back and being the one who got to fry the giant crab. That was my most player satisfying, and like I said, I had time to think about this, but I would say like my most hero moment is 100% blasting my way out of the Neolithin.
Mm-hmm.
When I had been swallowed by the Neolithin, it looked like I was fucking dead, and I'm like, well, I'm inside it.
You
I'm
came out
just
as
gonna try and fight my way out. And the best part was at that point I also couldn't fucking speak to humans. Thank you, wild magic.
and you came out as a blueberry too.
Mm-hmm.
So like yeah, just like coming and I was blue. So just like fucking blasting my way out of this thing, killing it from the inside out, flopping on the ground and then having to look at a creature and being like, well, that sucked. Is 100% my hero moment.
It's all that
That's
Neolithin
for
stuff.
sure.
I don't remember Neolithin
There-
that much.
Like I just like it actually took me a minute to think about that because like I was gonna be like, well, the end, but I'm like, oh, fuck that. And then I like because I talked to Iron Wolf a couple hours ago, I had time to think about it, and I was like, oh right, that it was that definitely that.
What about Clemmons before Matt answers? Sorry. 'Cause
Yeah.
Clemmons is only
Go ahead,
the other
Clemmons.
two-
Yeah,
right.
Chris. This is a while back. This is a deep pull, but I'm sure you can grab
This
some
is a
of this.
deep cut. So I don't remember the specifics of whenever this happened. Because it happened almost every session, but there was one at like the end of multiple sessions in a row. Clemmons was
Uh-oh.
doing something, and he always rolled a crit.
Wait.
Am I wrong on this? Right? Like there was always like, and we'd end with that, and it was just like that worked like every time. I don't know how it happened. I couldn't tell you be like, yeah, this is the moment. But it's like, it was always just like, yeah, I'm going to try this. Let's roll. Oh shit, I crit. And that's where we're going to end,
Mhm,
folks.
mhm.
I remember
Perfect way to finish it.
When Clemmons got the Almirage in him, that puzzle he went in, I felt like you just winged it almost.
That was
for a bit of it.
interesting. Yeah.
The which one?
God.
The one where you got the Almirage in you, it was like the puzzle floor. It was like a whole bunch of
Remember
puzzles
that?
or
We had to like switch
Yeah.
from puzzle floor piece to puzzle floor piece. And you're
It
like,
felt like
I'm going to go to this one. Anything happen? I'm like, nope.
it felt like you screwed that up a few times, but you still survived somehow.
I might have.
Who knows?
This-
Okay.
By the way, Zeke is extremely scary, especially managing to scare the Death Knight too. Just-
Yeah. That's like,
God.
dude, I'm like I closed roll 20 already. I'm pretty like because she was an enforcer. I'm pretty sure intimidation was actually her highest skill.
Yep.
And she got to use it more early in dungeon levels, and then as we moved down, it kind of fell away. I think that was actually part of what I said about Zeke growing up, is that she stopped using like just sheer brute scariness to get her away and started listening to the ways that other people did things.
God.
But yeah, like that was like, because that was her thing. I'm like, she's an enforcer, then obviously intimidation is gonna be her highest skill. Because once again, like, dude, 90% of Zeke was rolled on the tables in Xanathars.
Oh my god!
And
Sorry to delay,
and
Matt.
and it just like the randomness gave me a beautiful character. They gave me
I love that.
who is honestly my favorite character that I've ever played. And it's probably because it's been 2.5 years, but she's still my favorite.
Oh, I just remembered though. Sorry to delay Matt some more. Sorry, Matt, if you have the idea. But I remember now. There's only one NPC that Ferros ever killed in the entire campaign himself. There's only one, and that was Nothic that was starting the mic in it. And I remember very heroically, the one time he was like, "I will not let you down to the mic in it," and it was the only time he ever killed a creature was because he felt so like sure of like guarding them. Sorry, Matt, go ahead.
No,
He made a promise.
It's good. It's good.
Yeah.
Don't
bring my props.
Here's what I think are the highlights for me watching you guys. I can't speak to the NPCs, right? Because they're just wall dressing, really. Even if they...
Well, the ones you made that played, and maybe you'd like to...
Yeah, listen, they helped to some degree in whatever way they did, or they hindered you to some degree, but the story was always yours. I think that the key situations that made me happy as a DM were situations that subverted your expectations as players. That's the key thing, right? I think that with whenever you play Dungeons and Dragons, you already, no matter how much you try to stay away from the meta, you kind of already kind of get the plot before you're really fully into it. You're like, okay, we're in this particular part of the dungeon. Like, what's the goal? What's the quest? Who do we have to talk to in order to move to the next place? And then you sort of get the overall superstructure of it, and you move on. Oh, we have to go to that tower. We have to talk to that dude. We have to get that thing from him. That's the quest. We get it. We go back to him. We move on. That's the end. And then when things subvert your expectation, like Sea Deeps, which was the level also known as the Matrix level. That,
oh my gosh,
that was for me extremely fun because guys didn't know what the fuck was going on. You were like, we're back? I'm like, yeah, you're back. Like, I do a check. Okay, sure, go for it. Do a check. Okay, you're home. Super. It's extremely convincing. There is no check that would have been able to, at least at the beginning, been able to sort of make you realize the situation that you were in until you started to notice certain things from the portrayal of what you were just seeing, right? No checks, no rolls, no nothing. It's just your own intuition of something's not, this is, what the fuck? We're done? What? And then the whole sort of meta idea of you guys being in a construct. And is it okay to just stay here? Like, that in and of itself was, for me, like a fun idea to play with. Like, we're in the ideal version of Waterdeep. Why don't we just fucking, like, what's the point? Why do I have to go back?
Do we take the red pill or the blue pill?
Yeah, for real.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, from a very Matrixy moment, although I can tell just by looking at Septur how amazingly into it he was, just being like, we're in my favorite movie. Like,
Just rewatched all of those again recently.
Yep, ready for number 4. And just being like,
Number 4 looks really good.
it does look really good. And I was thinking, okay, they're down for this kind of weird experience. And I looked forward to seeing if there were any kind of other adventures that sort of superseded the expectation or other floors. I didn't see anything. I was always kind of a little disappointed by that, except for one and only one floor, which was the musical floor.
oh my
Let me
god.
ask a question real quick.
Yeah.
Before you can, isn't the Dungeon of the Mad Mage supposed to be that way? It's.
That's a great question. That's a really great question, Alex. I think you're right. I think to some degree,
It's like Diablo.
the superstructure, yeah. I think the superstructure of the campaign and why a lot of people love it and why a lot of people hate it is that it is exactly that. It's like fucking that. Remember that old 80s game Gauntlet? Red Wizard needs food badly. Like, it is literally that. You kill all the monsters and then you go to the exit.
It's a
and then you
fucking
move to the
dungeon
next one.
crawl. That's what it is. It's a dungeon crawl.
Oh yeah, like
I
The
love
one
I
thing-
Talron.
love a good dungeon crawl, which is why
Like-
I was so on
but
board
like-
for all of it.
what made this story of the whole campaign event was this whole sudden crazy theory going on that this is basically a death loop that's been going on for quite
Well,
some
that was
time.
Kraw figuring
That
that
Kraw
out.
brought up, yeah.
Mhm.
Told you
And
No.
it's like,
I'm going to disagree with you and say what made this more than Dungeon Crawl was actually Matt. And the fact that he
True.
not only found an individual story hook to bring each of us into the dungeon, but that he wove everyone's backstory into it. Like Kaifan being a big bad. Or like that in particular is the one that stands out right now. But just the fact that he found such good ways to not only weave everyone's backstory into the dungeon, but also to keep giving us hooks as we went on, throwing little bits and pieces here and there. Like that's. I'm offering a big shout out to Matt as a DM right now because that.
Yeah.
As much like even if it had just been a straightforward 23 level dungeon crawl, I would have had a good time. But watching everyone get to play out personal stories inside of that dungeon crawl is really a fucking masterwork. So thank you, sir.
You know, Matt, I've been meaning to ask, what the hell would have happened if I just stuck to being a hexblade, anyways?
Kaifan would have loved you as an ally in the final fight.
Mm.
My one thing about the
Did
dungeon.
you?
Oh shit! Ferros and I would have had to kill his husband. That would have been
I would
bad.
not have-
What was the
I don't know
question,
what I would've
Alex?
Kaifan is not something in the module originally.
No, Kaifan is a creature from lore, from Forgotten Realms, D&D lore. It is a planet being. It is a planet creature, an entity that is essentially a planet-sized great old one that you can use as if you are a warlock, as an influence that gives you the powers, as opposed to like a fiend or a celestial or something like that. It is literally just like Cthulhu as a planet.
I just wanted to have like something cool, honestly.
And I remember the day Septur sent me this. He goes, "I want that to be my patron." I go, "What the fuck is that?" And and then he sent me the picture, and I go, "No fucking way, no fucking way, dude."
Wait,
do
that
you
reminds me so
realize?
much of. Oh my gosh.
He
That reminds me of.
Yeah, go ahead.
That reminds me of when Matt. Sorry, I did bring it back to me. I like doing that sometimes, but Laraxi, his original god was an evil god, and Matt's
That's right.
like, "Are you
Cyric?
serious?"
I think it was Cyric, right?
Cyric. It was
Yeah.
Cyric, the goddess. I think god of lies.
Yeah.
Because he was an original.
Oh, that
god,
so
Goliath.
fits for Laraxi. Oh
Yeah.
my god.
And but the thing is, like, what I was like, telling Matt, like, well, he may have an evil god that he follows as a cleric. Doesn't necessarily mean he himself is evil. And Matt didn't like
But-
that, so we eventually saw.
But
later,
just the fact that I chose like something that was like from the cosmos,
Mhm.
though.
Oh, it was great. It gave me so many ideas. I'm like, oh shit.
It gave him a great story hook.
One
You
thing I do
guys,
wanna say
you
about
guys
the
help
dungeon-
me help you guys. Like, if you give me good shit, then I help.
Am I
make it
weird? I think the most memorable floors were the ones that were super gimmicky. I kind of wish they were even more so. So a few of them, the Shadowfell one, really great level. I think that level was probably my favorite.
the Shadowfell
yeah.
level, the level with the Shadow Dragon.
The level where we got stuck in the mist for 3 months.
Jesus.
Awesome. That was probably my favorite. A lot of great.
I love that it was us, like of the two
Yeah, that's
people
good.
from this fucking party to get stuck in the mist
But
together.
even then, it was also one of my favorite times because I also got my favorite madness, which was the vivid hallucination, which is so much fun to play.
Mhm.
Oh my gosh.
Dude,
but
I wish I might have to pull this up and let everyone know what the madnesses I still had when this game
There
was over.
there was
were.
like let's talk about gimmicks on the level. Like every level had a gimmick. I think is
Mhm.
most memorable in some way. You got the teleporting level, even though Septur almost died, which I was really sad about.
God, that
we
was
had
so
the,
mean.
we had the I mean even the one for the Far Realms one that had the portal.
Uh-huh.
Even though I personally didn't like that, I still remember it.
Yeah.
And there was also, let's see, there was another one I was literally thinking of, I can't remember it off the top of my head, but there were like gimmicky ones. And I honestly wish they'd been more gimmicky. I think it'd be more interesting if every level had its own little gimmick to it.
I was really sad that you guys didn't find the throne that was the helm to the
Right.
To the
yeah.
spell-
This
Spelljammer
actually,
ship.
Matt, this actually falls into my question.
uh-huh.
I have 2 questions for you. One is specifically related to Zeke. The other one is an overarching question. The overarching question that I had for you was,
Yep.
what is the level or encounter that you're really disappointed we didn't find?
The level that I'm disappointed you guys didn't do was a level that was almost completely RP. Very little combat at all in that level. As much as people think that I'm like, oh my god, Matt loves beating his players up with ridiculous combats.
Level was this?
This was a level called, well, it was very Harry Potter, but it was a level called Dwemercore.
Like it's
I definitely remember that was like the magic school level.
That's exactly what it was. It was a school of
We heard about it a bunch of times. We never wound up there.
Mm-hmm, yep.
But I would have wanted to go there.
Yeah, you
What
skipped
level was
right
that?
the fuck over it.
Wait, what level was that?
Dwemercore is level 9.
Did we skip that willingly, or did Hallister bring us down? I think Hallister brought us past that
It
level.
was Hallister, yeah.
I think we might have used a gate to jump 9.
You jumped from 6 to 10. You jumped from level 6 to level 10.
In a
10?
gate.
Yep.
10 was Mural's Gauntlet, right?
10
Yeah,
was
I'm
Mural's
pretty
Gauntlet,
sure-
yeah.
Yeah.
Am I wrong? I'm pretty sure Hallister brought us to the Mural's Gauntlet.
Well,
I thought we jumped there.
Let me go. Whether you jumped or whether he jumped you or whatever it was, the key thing to sort of make you guys understand about the way I thought things were going during the campaign was this way. You guys were busting your fucking, like, just everything was just falling over. You guys were way overpowered in the beginning portions of this campaign. You started at level 10, at a level where you're basically supposed to be level 5.
You know, I still remember that time we met David Bowie.
And the Goblin King.
Yes.
Yep. And I was thinking to myself, I'm like, how long can I keep this going? Because they're just accumulating XP. They are leveling up, but they're leveling up slower. Are they going to get bored? I need to give them a challenge that they're not just going to fucking curb stomp. And I was thinking to myself, okay, well, I got to move them to a level that has good RP and good challenges. Because otherwise
It
these
never
guys...
felt like curb stomping, just to be honest. It never felt like we were curb stomping.
I had to
Level 2, hello?
I had to level up some of these monsters, so to speak. I had to give them a lot more hit points and give their damage a little bit more output, but that made the fights go longer. When you as a DM have to like jinky with the fights just to make it worthwhile, so they're not like, well, that fight took 10 seconds. Why the fuck was it even there?
Yeah.
Because it's in the module. And then you
But
go,
if we had been low level, it probably also would have taken 10 minutes. So
Sometimes short fights are actually okay.
yeah, it just feels kind of anticlimactic when you're like, okay, and you fight against the Revenant and you chop his face off.
Well, I think a good example is my favorite
we
level.
didn't fight against him. Ferros made him his best fucking friend. What are you talking about?
But okay, my favorite level actually was the 3rd level. Not because I had played Laraxi, who was already interested in that.
That was
but also
the Sargoth level.
Skullport.
That was the
Skullport,
level
more
with
specifically.
the
Skullport was his favorite.
More
level.
specifically Skullport.
Oh, Skullport was level 4. Sargoth was level 3. Sargoth was the level with the giant
No,
river.
Skullport-
I know Skullport was part of level 3. It was like the passageway between level
kind
3
of,
and 4.
kind of, yeah.
Level 4 was like the Etna and stuff and the mushrooms.
Level 4 was the Twisted Caverns. That's right. So it's sort of Skullport was between level 3 and level 4. You're right.
Skullport was definitely the highest point of the campaign for me, at least personally, for a lot of reasons. I think it had a perfect blend of RP, but also because we're in a town.
Yeah.
Not just
Also, I
Dungeons
think
and
you might just like playing Laraxi more
Is
than
that
you
true?
like
I
playing
don't know if
Ferros.
that's true or not.
I think you might, even though both of them are assholes, they're different kinds of assholes.
Oh,
And I think
right.
you like playing Laraxi's brand of asshole more than you
Hey,
like
Kraw.
playing Ferros'
Well,
brand of
good
asshole.
news. In Matt's Ravenloft campaign, if I were to play in it, my character would not be an asshole.
Kraw. I've been meaning to ask.
Then please come. I would like to play, like, because I've only ever played with you as an asshole or as my DM. I would like you to play as not an asshole.
Yeah, it would
Oh,
be.
I would
nice.
like to
Kraw.
see how that pans out.
I remember, because I remember there was a time when, like, after Ferros being resurrected and all that,
Mhm.
you had, like, that tense conversation between Talron and the Raxi, right?
Right.
Mhm.
Didn't you ask
Oh,
about,
the
like...
one where Zeke was pretending to be asleep and heard the whole thing. Yes.
No. Wait, are you talking the one?
Wasn't there...
Are you talking about when it was you and Fix?
Yeah.
When
Well,
Fix was going
actually,
to sleep?
it was definitely the last time they talked, which was in the pet shop.
That wasn't with Zeke. That was the last time when he tried to suggest Ferros take his place.
Okay, then I wasn't.
So
What about that?
Like-
let
You had a question.
let
You had a
me
question.
go
Yeah,
ahead.
like-
go ahead. Go with the question because we want to see if we can
Didn't you
move
say,
through
like,
this a little bit.
Didn't you say there was a moment I could have like?
So
met,
Matt,
like,
the
your-
thing you're most sad that we missed was Dwemer.
Was Dwemer yeah.
Okay.
Racing Septur?
Well, didn't you say that I could have had the choice of like meeting like someone at the end or like I'm trying to remember what was the choice I had. I was like before I decided that I just bamf out and just could have met like I don't know Ferros's mom or
Oh,
like
Sabina? I don't
yeah
know.
yeah.
I don't know if I ever said you could have met her or not.
I don't know. I'm just trying to
I don't
remember
have a
what.
decision to make. I could make.
I don't know. Yeah, whatever. Let's just.
Okay. So, Gordle Gray also wanted to mention the druid level that was only privy to Kraw's character because he sort of had to catch up with you guys.
Yeah, because you guys went from 4 to 6, I think.
That's right. And
Yeah.
there was
when
an
you
entire level.
magically showed up with us in the heart of the mountain. Yeah.
That's right. Yeah. So there was that level as well, which had a the big bad of that level was actually a druid.
Green dragon?
A green dragon and a druid. They were sort of like together. Red Platinum had a question. The question is, if your character played D&D, what would their favorite part be? Such as combat, role-playing, dice collecting, mini painting, story making, etc.
Story making for Ferros.
Story making, yeah.
Honestly, for Zeke too. Yeah.
Story making.
Yep.
Yeah.
Story making for Clemmons as well.
Yep.
Cool.
Zeke really likes people.
Okay. Ferros.
Ferros has a lot of creativity it is in the show.
How about for Talron?
Probably the roleplay.
Roleplay? Yeah. Okay. And Elbauthin?
I would say the combat.
Solid.
I enjoyed the combat.
Heck yeah.
Matt, I have a quick question for you.
Yeah, go ahead.
It's a very personal question.
Uh-oh.
What the fuck was up with the my rocking horse in the Shadow Dust Horde? Where were you going with that? I really want to know because it never panned out, and now I really want to know.
If you remember that the Shadow Dust was collecting treasures from many different affluent families in and around Waterdeep.
Mm-hmm.
And although I don't know if you caught this, but at the very end, Grazd,
Yes,
Prince of the Abyss, Prince of Demons, called your mother by a name which
that was not Millicent, which I thought was actually a mistake, but okay.
No, it was not.
Oh, interesting.
It was the name Tasha,
Yes.
as in
Hideous laughter.
as in Tasha's hideous laughter.
Oh,
My
motherfucking shit
God.
balls.
As in
Nice.
the probably one of the most powerful
God, I love this so much. I'm so glad I asked.
witches, and in lore, in actual lore, it is thought that Grazd and Tasha had an illicit affair and spawned children.
Oh my God, I love this so much. Chat, I need you to know that at one point Matt asked me about my tiefling heritage. I'm assuming it was like it never came out until I made it happen. So I'm assuming it was for a floor we didn't go to. But based on what I had in my mind for what Zeke's demon father looked like, I just started flipping through the D&D lore, which I am not super skilled in. I will not lie. And when I found Grast, I'm like, that is exactly what I pictured. So that man or someone related to him is my father. And then I let Matt take it from there. And holy fucking shit. Like, I did not even, like, when you called her Tasha, I did not put that together. I'm like, that's not my mother's name. My mother's name is Millicent. What's wrong with you? Oh my God. Amazing. Thank you for the headcanon in the decompress session. That's
You're
By
welcome.
the way,
amazing.
Matt mispronounced
Oh my
my
God.
character's name in the past. He called him Foor instead of Fware. And I'm like, it's not Foor, it's Fware.
You know what? Everybody
I
pronounces
love the
names
idea
different.
that Zeke is the daughter of fucking
That's good, yeah, I like that one.
Grast and Tasha. Oh my fucking God.
What else? Let's see if I can
Amazing.
find some
Oh my
other
God.
questions.
But actually, where was that supposed to lead? Like, where was the rocking horse going to go?
Yeah, so if you remember,
like, what check
yeah.
did I miss
You
to
didn't.
figure out where that was going to go?
It was it was yours when you were a child. That
Okay.
a lot of the material wealth that caused your
Okay.
family to have to degrade into the place where Millicent, or Tasha, or whatever you want to call her, had to sort of survive on the streets of Waterdeep. Much of that was taken by the efforts of the followers of Shar, of which Elbauthin's father was one.
So, which I already wanted to shut them down, but this was like
a little bit
further
more
impetus to do so.
Mhm,
Okay.
yeah.
I didn't know if there was like supposed to be some crazy family link that I was missing.
Well, there was
That's why I
that's
asked.
why the portrait was hidden. If you
Yeah.
remember right in
Yeah.
the statue, the portrait of your family was hidden away. It was an extremely valuable portrait because it showed the lineage of Grazd, his wife, his child. And
I am also saying that portrait hangs large in the halls of Trollskull Alley.
Okay, cool. Yeah, so, demons and devils, another headcanon thing. Demons and devils have always been at war with one another. When you guys went to hell and fought the devils,
Which hilariously Zeke did not know. And that's why she did what
which was
she
super
did.
funny because you're like, "Do you know who my dad is?" And everyone's like, "No, who's your dad?" And they're like, "Wait a second. Oh shit. She's his daughter." And that's
She didn't fucking know.
No, totally cool.
She
totally
had no
cool.
idea.
Nah, devils, demons, they're all sort of mushed together.
Oh
But
my god.
devils and demons detest one another. And devils specifically.
Kraw told me this later.
That's why headcanon why Ferros hated Zeke originally.
There you go. From a sort of demonic
And
versus
we
devilish
had,
nature.
we'd have a private conversation about that, but also
Mhm.
we talked later about he's like, should I say something? Should I not say something? And I'm like, Zeke literally doesn't know. Been raised by human uncle since he was 5. Has fucking idea.
I'll, t-
So she was like, oh, guys with horns. Whatever.
I'll tell you what
My dad.
My favorite episode. Don't worry about level, but my favorite episode was the one where
47.
No, was that 47? Was it? You know
No.
which one I'm talking about?
47 was Nether Skull.
No, it wasn't that one. My favorite episode was when Sarah came in so drunk
My
and
God.
played
Birthday,
D&D,
Sarah.
played D&D,
Uh,
so wasted. I was
Oh
like,
my God, I was
this
so
is going to be
hammered.
so tough and get so
I'm not
rewarding.
drunk, she says. I'm not drunk. I promise.
So rewarding.
What?
I was so hammered.
I need to go back and watch that.
Yes, you do.
episode,
I played okay, right?
Yeah.
You did
I
play
played okay.
fine.
Yeah. It was just
What?
goddamn
But it
hilarious.
was also
Every
for
time you
an
said a
initiated chat. It was also my pandemic birthday,
Yes.
What episode
so
was
I
it
had
again?
already warned the entire channel that I was showing up drunk.
Yep.
Yeah, we
Yep.
know.
But yeah, I was shit faced. I've watched the clip where I'm telling Ferros that I'm gonna kirk him to death.
That's the one. No,
I've-
the quote is literally as
Love
Red is
it.
saying, "I'm going to kirk your ass."
I'm gonna kirk your ass.
Yeah, because about to say was gonna.
Because he
fuck out.
embedded me. He's like, you're not Spock. I'm not your Kirk. And I'm like, no, I'm gonna kirk your ass. Like, I may have been shit faced, but I remember that moment because it was fucking beautiful.
It was
That's what
wonderful.
Rachel
I mean, I remember you were having like some kind of tender moment with like I think it was like either with Ferros or it was like with Elbauthin.
I wasn't being tender with Ferros. I was being tender with someone else because then Ferros came in to be a dick, and I'm like, no.
Yeah.
You were just so drunk though.
All right.
Oh, I was shit faced. I was
So-
shit faced. It was my birthday.
Here's the questions.
All right, yes, chat questions.
Yeah. Let me just see if there's any more. Actually, would Second Chance Hallister run a D&D game for the Underground and Misfits? Yes. Hell
Oh, fuck
yes.
yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
The answer is yes. In fact, wow, Red pulled up the clip. I'm gonna kirk your ass. That's fucking great. Good job, Red.
Red, I love you. Will you send that to me on Discord, please?
Yeah, cool. All right. So we've talked about the campaigns. We've talked about what we've liked, I don't think we've talked about a little bit what we don't like, but we're gonna leave that to a different time. Because we would like highlights, not like what I didn't like was this and what I didn't like was that.
I hated the entire thing. I've been faking it all along. See you guys later.
You know what? It's cool to not like things. I actually think that is an indication of your preference as a player, and I like that. I like to understand what makes you guys enjoy and not enjoy things. That way, as a DM, I can custom tailor experiences to your liking as best as possible. The more players you have, the harder it is. But it's always on the mind of a DM to make sure that they themselves are having fun, but that their players are enjoying themselves and are.
That's why I like to think also the lower levels weren't quite as interesting as later ones, except for Skullport.
Yeah, that's
But
fine.
that's just my preference.
That's fine.
I liked fighting the Driders from my tower.
the Driders, the one that
That was the
sexed up. That's
only. Well, because when I spoke to Matt, how I got a magical item,
Mhm.
and I wanted the tower,
Mhm.
and he's like, "You can't just use it as a fucking battle weapon." And I'm like,
Yeah.
"No, it's like it's my fucking refuge. I won't do that." Because that's like that's how I wrote that into my character, is like, no, like this is the place she goes to be alone.
Mhm.
That story, I actually really enjoyed finally getting to tell you the story of how I got it when we were in the Matrix. When I was trying to get the guy to guess how I got it to prove that we were really there.
Oh, I know Kung Fu.
And the only time that I ever used the tower as a siege tower, which is what it's designed for, was on that level with the Driders. And
Oh, Skullport.
there was a spider suspended above Skullport, but yes, it was still Skullport. It was back on level 3. It was the only time I ever used the tower as a siege tower. Every other time we slept in it thinking it would be a siege tower, and it wasn't. But getting to actually use it in that vein and actually like having it take the damage, which I knew I had to reach level 19 before I could fix.
17.
Because I have to have a level 9 spell.
You get level 9 at 17.
Everybody
17?
hydrate.
Yes, thank you, Red, for the hydrate warning. And yeah, so here's the thing: we're about 2 hours in.
Yeah.
And I'm seeing some really good stuff here. I like these questions. All these questions are
Ooh,
amazing
yes. Lay them on
questions.
us.
But I wanted to find out if you guys are down for a quiz.
Oh yeah.
No.
It's up to you. If you
Do
don't want to, that's
it.
cool too. If you want to stay for like a quick Dungeons
Matt,
and
do the
Dragons
quiz.
quiz,
Do the
then-
quiz.
Spoilers. Matt told us about this before the session.
well, I
He did.
did, but I wasn't sure whether you wanted to
And
do
I'm
it.
probably gonna lose.
That's
but
okay.
I want to
That's
play
okay.
anyway.
We're gonna play this in this way. Those of you who are watching on YouTube, sorry, but you can sort of like check this out at home. Many of
Play
these
from
questions,
home.
play. You can play from home if you're watching us on Twitch. But we're gonna go like this. We're gonna go in order. We're gonna ask one question apiece to all of these 5, and as the questions go, they're gonna get harder and harder. You, as the player, you can do one of 2 things. Actually, one of 3 things. You can answer the question, no time. Well, actually, there will be like a minute of time. You can answer the question. You can pass that to another player who has to answer that question.
How many times can you do that? Once?
You can only pass to one other person.
Yeah.
So you can pass that to anybody, as long as it wasn't the person who it was just passed to. That's the second
Yeah,
option.
so like per round,
Exactly.
only one player can get passed.
Exactly.
In other words, we can't pass all of our questions to Kraw.
Well, yeah, because he just get all the
It's
points if
hard.
he actually knew what the answer was. The third option is that you can ask for help. You can ask for help either from chat, or you can ask for help from one person within the 5. It cannot be the same person who was just asked for help in the previous question.
All right.
Cool?
Yes.
All right, so
Sure.
we'll take
I
a
love
break.
this.
We'll take a break, and when we come back, we will have a fucking quiz. It'll be fun. I think it'll be fun.
I
So
love
let's
this.
take like a 5-minute break, and we'll come back refreshed and ready for quiz time. Cool.
All right.
Yes.
All right,
Surprise.
folks. We'll see you guys in 5 minutes. And we'll have some quizzes. Yeah.
Yeah.
You're welcome.
I don't usually eat on this stream, but
You know what?
I don't know.
I normally don't eat on the stream either, but I don't give a shit because eating.
Should have gotten Oreos.
Yeah, it gets. Well, you had 5 minutes. You fail. All right. Here we go. Wow.
I asked Matt
Wow.
my questions. Y'all are up.
Here's
well, then that's
here's
the video of the quiz.
yeah.
Welcome to food.
We're gonna do here's welcome to food talk. So here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna do this. I'm gonna see if this comes through on the stream. I think it will. I got this new extension on Streamlabs OBS called Quiz Kit, and I inputted
yes.
some quizzes into the stream, and let's see if it actually happens. All right. So the question I have. I have a lot of questions, but I don't want to do like every single fucking one because I've got lore questions, I've got rules questions, and then I've got true or false, which are sort of like a combination of all of them. So I think we'll start with true or false questions. We'll go with that. Cool? All right, there's 18 of them. So we're going to just do that. We're going to select the true or false questions, and we're going to say, start the quiz.
Do we need to go to a website or something?
You do not, because I'm going to just read the question
Okay.
to you. The stream will see it, or they should see
Oh, there it is. Yep.
Yeah, cool. So there we go. The stream should see, hopefully.
That's false.
Thanks, Richard. All right, here we go. First question.
Who's it for?
Let's go to the left. Let's start with the left.
Left.
That's Sarah. Sarah,
Okay.
true or false? Dwarves get resistance against poison damage. If the dwarf gets another poison resist effect, it stacks, so they have double resistance. True or false?
False.
Is that your final answer?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Kitty says so. I believe her.
Okay. The answer is, it is false. Sarah gets 1 point. Ding! All right, we're moving on.
What the prizes, by the way?
There are no prizes. The prizes you get to
Bragging rights.
win.
Cats on the pizza.
Mm-hmm. All right. Let's see if we can make this move on to the next. Yeah, the answer is indeed false. Okay. Wow, most people did in fact choose false.
Most.
Yeah, from chat, the answer is false. Okay. Why is it taking such a
Ooh,
long
chat
time?
gets to play along. That's fine.
Chat does get to
I like
play
that.
along if they have the thing
like that.
in the
And you stop clicking it.
yeah. And if you stop clicking, come on,
I mean,
please. All right. Yeah, it's taking a long time to go from each question. All right, next question is. Oh, red is playing, of course. All right, next question. This one is for Alex. Alex, true or false? Characters can use the help action to give themselves advantage on their own next attack.
False.
Okay. Man,
Richard!
I gotta get Richard in this game. I really do. Okay.
Next campaign.
Yeah. I just want, because then Septur in the background will be like,
Motherfucker!
yeah, exactly. Yeah. Mm-hmm. All right. Tabulating the answers from chat. Most people chose false.
How's their recovery like negative 20 frames? We use like 30.
The answer is false. All right.
Bullshit. That's literally combo.
For real, Richard. For real, dude.
For
I
real.
completely
For
agree
real.
with you.
For real, Richard. Completely agree.
I
We
completely.
know, Richard. Everything is bullshit. It's fine.
Getting so many coins. Easy answer.
All right.
What?
Here we go. Waiting for the next question. I wish there was a way to like speed this shit up. All right, here we go. This one is a question for Septur. Septur, true or false? A natural 1 on an ability check is an automatic failure.
True.
Okay.
Wait, what are you guys clicking on? What?
People are clicking on the if you go into, there's a little like extension. So if you actually go into Twitch, if you're like if you're watching us on Twitch, you can actually vote along.
I can't figure out how to get into chat without watching the stream. So
Don't worry about it.
matter.
You're like 5 seconds behind, so it's totally cool.
It doesn't
Not
matter if you see
fine.
anything. You see the question. Not a big deal.
No, I just can't figure it out. Full stop. But
No
that's
worries.
fine.
See my
No
name in the
worries. I'm okay with
leaderboard.
that.
The answer is, here it comes. The answer is false. A natural one
Yeah, Septur.
on
Yep.
on an ability check is not an automatic failure. He
Should
said
have known that for my Wednesday session.
he
Septur.
said true. The answer is false, unfortunately.
Yeah,
Oh,
I'm
I
saying you
thought he
should have
said
known that.
false. Okay.
Oh,
Yeah, it's true. Sorry, it's false. You should have known from Wednesday session, Septur. Sometimes people get that ones on
A natural one on an attack roll is an automatic failure, but not on an ability check. Here we go. Next question. This one's for
it's one of them where
Kraw.
it just always seems like
Doesn't necessarily mean you will fail.
In
Just
the
depends on
event of a
DC.
horizon bubble.
Okay. Kraw. True or false? If you have a creature between you and an enemy, the enemy gets half cover.
Creature between you. That should be true.
Okay.
Wait, sorry, but how big is the other creature between it?
The enemy gets half cover. True or
If
false?
it's just it could be a big creature. I guess that's if it's a large creature between them. I'll still say true, but
Let's say true. Okay.
technically it could be false if it's a big creature. We total cover.
Waiting for everyone else to put in their answers. The answer coming now from the depths of chat. Oh wow, this chat seems to be quite divided on this. The answer is 3, 2, 1. The answer is it is true. Okay. Remember, folks, if you do not have a correct answer, that is okay. You may be able to ask for help. And you may ask another player as well if you'd like. All right. We're going back around. Here comes Sarah.
All right.
Yeah, we never use cover rules, so
I
have
know.
hiccups. This is great. Fucking
Sarah. Good job, Sarah. All right, Sarah. Here we
all
go.
good.
True
All
or
right.
false? True or false, Sarah? Here we go. 2-weapon fighting. Bonus actions and attacks can be split up with movement.
True.
Okay.
this is one of those rules. This is one of those.
Mhm.
We'll see.
Mhm.
I don't actually know the answer.
Sarah.
That's why I feel like I know it, so I'm gonna stick with my guns. God damn it, hiccups.
This is the last time I get you drunk on a stream, Sarah. You're not-
Hey,
you're
Septur,
not, you're not that
dude,
bad.
my hiccups don't mean shit.
That's
I can
true.
still participate.
You're like, okay.
I am way more sober than I was on
Oh,
my
more
birthday.
people said false than true on this one, Sarah. Here we go. The answer is.
But what's the real answer?
The answer is true.
Hey, I was right, bitches.
You were right. All right.
Like I said, way less drunk than I was.
I
on
said
my
true as well.
birthday.
This is true. That's true. You were. All right. Here we go.
I'm not gonna lie. I'm drunk, but I'm not as drunk as I was.
This is
on my
okay.
birthday.
We are right with
Don't
this.
say that. Last time you said that you were drunk, and you came back next day saying you were shit faced.
Mm-hmm. All right. Here we go.
Different. It was my birthday.
Um,
Extenuating circumstances.
Alex should know this one. Alex, this is a question for you. True or false? You can use a shield spell with the mage armor spell. True or false?
You can use a shield spell with true.
Yeah, that's
Oh, the extension is kind of weird. You have to hold it in to move all your coins. You can put all your coins on a certain answer. Oh,
Yes, you can.
see what's the
that
point.
chat is always talking about.
This one has stumped a good deal of chat.
I tried to open chat and couldn't figure
That's
out.
okay. Don't worry
how.
about it. It's totally
So
cool.
I stopped.
Chat is saying most people are saying true with this. All right, here comes the answer. The answer is true. Well done.
Yes.
Right now,
Spell just says +5 bonus to AC.
Right now, everybody has 2 points except for Septur, who has 1.
Huh?
Aw.
I don't have 2 points. I have 1.
You have 2. You've gotten 2 answers right.
I only asked 1 question. I asked 1 question.
All right, here we go.
Whatever. Don't
Septur.
fight it.
True or
Oh,
false?
God.
You can cast verbal spells underwater. True or false?
No. False.
Okay. Are you sure?
Yes.
Okay. That doesn't sound very convincing, but that's okay. If that is your final answer, here we go.
I'm waiting till you give the verdict before I say anything.
Okay. Let's see how good chat is on this one. Here we go. Chat believes. What do they believe? Here we see. Chat believes. Oh, wow. They're like super, like right in the middle divided here. But the answer, my friend, is
Yes.
true.
If you've got subtle spell,
You have to
if
have a
you
way of
can
breathing.
breathe underwater, you can.
Septur's like, God
Just-
damn it. He's like, son of a bitch.
It just depends on who you are.
You can cast verbal spells underwater. The key thing
You start drowning.
is that you will start drowning, unfortunately.
Unless you've got subtle spell or you can breathe underwater.
Right.
We went
Well,
through this
If you use subtle
because
spell,
when
if you use subtle spell, it's not verbal.
All right,
anymore.
here we go. They're getting a
yeah,
little
that
harder
was
now.
why like we had a big fucking thing when we had our first underwater
All right.
battle in Mad Mage where I cast
What
my
the fuck is this
my
question
spells
Here
with
we
about?
go.
components
Here we
as
go.
subtle.
A level 11 hunter ranger
Oh god.
has volley. True or false?
I don't fucking
Who does
use
this
like
go to?
range. Me.
Ugh.
This- Matt saw us like asking a question like, "Oh yes, Kraw knows everything a hunter." I'm just gonna say fucking true. I got no idea what volley is.
That's okay. You're 50% chance of getting it right. You're 50% chance of getting it wrong.
Got no idea.
All right.
You know what?
True.
Can I
what?
have someone else fill in my spot?
Oh,
You can ask
are
for
we,
help,
Are we gonna
Septur.
get? Are we gonna get? Are we gonna get a Richard cameo to actually answer some questions?
Oh,
here?
please phone a friend to
Richard.
Richard. Please phone a friend to Richard.
So,
Tell him to come
And
on.
do
in.
it when it's your turn. Do it when it's your turn.
Yeah.
This isn't your question.
Yeah,
Do it when it's your turn.
just tell him to come in.
Yeah, anyways, I said true. I don't actually know.
Okay. You said true.
Yep.
Okay. The answer is
I don't know what volley is.
3, 2, 1. The answer is true. Good job.
What is volley?
Volley is a ability, that specifically hunter rangers get, where you basically shoot a whole number of arrows up into the air as an AOE attack, and they have to make a dexterity saving throw, and it's a certain group within a radius of like 10, 15 feet. Uh-oh, here comes the fucking ringer. Look at this shit. Here we go.
probably are, but, like,
Look at this.
I feel like you skipped me to go to Kraw. I feel like I need a hard question now.
I'm
Alright.
looking at the stream. I know what order he's going in.
I'm
so-
going around in a
Okay.
circle. Sarah,
That's what makes-
you're
that's
up.
what makes
Sarah
it
is
cool.
up next. Sarah's up next.
All right.
Okay,
All
Sarah.
right, lay it on me.
Here we
Lay
go.
on me the shit I don't know.
This is good. I love this. Here we
Or
go.
I might. You
Sarah,
never know.
This is true. Sarah, a level 15 high elf monk does not need to eat, drink, or get 8 hours of sleep. This is a question for Sarah. Sarah, do you wish to answer the question? Phone a friend, ask chat. Your question.
No, I'm pretty sure a level 15 monk of any race that's true. So I'm going to go with true.
True. Okay. All right. Here it comes.
We've got, oh, well, I'm sorry. We don't, I was about to say we have a level 15 monk here, but we don't because we have Richard.
This is true.
So,
He's just disappeared.
hey, Richard.
Richard, you've got one question between you and the next one.
This is a question that I know Septur knows the answer
But you
to.
gotta
'cause
answer
he
it
is
like
a
you're
level
always
15
talking.
month, but
Like, you're always talking.
I'm
Wow.
pretty
Wow.
sure the answer is
What'd you say, Alex?
But you got to answer it like you're always talking, raw and loud.
Bullshit.
fuck that.
The answer is
What
true.
the hell, man?
The answer is
I'm getting
true.
my ass beat.
Yay!
The answer is true. All right. next question.
A timeless body, I believe that's called.
Yeah.
Oh, shit, he knows it. Yo, this guy is.
reason why
Richard, you
Talron-
gotta come play with us, man.
The reason Talron actually switched me in here is because I am the forever DM in our group. So
Mother-
I have
Fucker.
played with Richard a few times actually.
All right, here
We
we
played
go.
Ice Spire, Dragon Ice
Richard?
Spire together.
Question for Alex.
And next time I make it to SoCal,
Alex.
one shot, me and my
Yes.
husband. It's gonna
True
go.
or false, Alex? The armor class bonus from a monk's unarmored defense stacks with a sorcerer's draconic resilience.
So explain to me this question: Is the
Absolutely.
sorcerer draconic? So hold on, the
Yeah.
monk is also a sorcerer.
It's a multi-class monk sorcerer.
It would not stack.
Okay.
This is such a classic question.
Pretty good question.
I remember reading it like at least 5 times. It's
Alright.
a very common one.
So the answer is true or false?
The answer is false. It would not stack.
Okay. Here we go. Waiting for chat. Oh shit. Chat's increasing their usage of this quiz here. Who knew?
You get more coins. The more you win, the more coins you get.
Oh. What do you do with the coins, though? I wonder.
I lost all of mine last question because I didn't hear you say the word monk.
Motherfucker. All right. So the answer is 3, 2, 1. False. Good job, Alex.
Yeah, Alex. Get it.
All right. Here we go.
I've never heard of that. Is that feat the draconic thing?
Draconic
Draconic
resilience
resilience
is
from
from a
Draconic
exactly
Draconic Soul
draconic
Sorcerer.
souls. Yep.
I haven't heard of that one. We've only ever had one dragonborn on and off.
Well, it's
You
not
don't need to
Dragonborn,
be a
it's sorcerer.
dragonborn. It's
Sorcerer
sorcerer.
multi-class.
Yep.
Oh, sorcerer thing.
If
I'm
you're a
a-
sorcerer,
sorcerer.
you can get your
Oh, we have
power
no
from
sorcerers.
lots of different powers in the universe, so to speak.
We've
All right.
I haven't read for sorcerers.
Here we
ever.
go. Okay. This
That's a very
one
common
should be easy for you, Richard.
Good. It's
True
not
or
good.
false? You can take the attack action while in a prone condition.
True.
True.
Final answer.
Final answer. I feel like I should have the who wants to be a millionaire like super like stressful
Why did I
music.
get this question,
Like,
man? Why did I, have to
I
get a
wish
question about-
I wish you did. It'd be great.
Why did I have to get a question about the worst class that nobody plays?
Bum, bum,
The monk class.
bum,
The monk
bum,
class?
The
bum,
Ranger.
bum.
Ranger.
Oh, Ranger.
I'll just
wrong,
make
man.
up music for you.
Yeah, thank you.
The
sir.
Ranger's so bad they have like a UA revising it.
Oof, man. You know, it's funny when you look at the number of players who play different classes. Ranger is not at the bottom of the list.
It's not. You're right. I think it's
Artificer
Warlocks.
is. No, Artificer.
Artificer's
Which
new.
is interesting because Artificer's got a lot of really interesting
Well, no,
shit.
it's
did.
Like,
new.
actually,
It's the newest one.
The answer is true. Good job, Richard. All right.
if I was not already so happy with my Ravenloft character, I would make her an Artificer because Artificers are awesome.
Cool.
But
What's the next one after? I think it's Warlock, isn't it?
Good
Usually
question.
is.
I'll have to take a look.
You-
They haven't done the
I don't look
stats on different character classes.
I wouldn't look at Artificer because Artificer is just the newest one, so it's obviously going to be the least played.
Okay, we're gonna go. Here's our last question. Kraw. True or false?
Probably has one. Okay.
You can knock a creature out with a melee spell attack.
I know the answer. It's false.
Okay.
A melee spell attack can't be whatever that word is. You can't knock him out. You have to kill him.
Non-lethal.
Yeah, there's no non-lethal with melee spell attacks for spells in general.
I believe so.
Next time you punch someone in the face with a shocking grasp.
I'd like to do it non-lethally, please. I'd like to non-lethally stop the heart.
I'd like to non-lethally. What are the melee?
Fireball.
Taser, so
Melee spell attacks, right? Melee spell attacks. There are not a whole lot of them. Anything with a touch, right?
No, there's a lot of range melee spell attacks. Like all of my sorcerer cantrips.
Yep.
With the exception
Chill
of shocking grab.
touch, firebolt.
Chill touch isn't melee.
Yep.
I was gonna
Nope.
say
Firebolt, like
You
I
are
can't remember what
correct.
I can't remember what the
Yeah.
cold thing I have is, but yeah.
Yeah.
At least I
No,
got one
most-
easy question.
Ray of
Maybe I
Frost.
didn't really know that well.
Ray Frost, thank you.
You are welcome. All right, so let's check out. Let's see who's actually Red Platinum. Right now is in
I
the
only-
lead.
Question.
I don't know who contestant 2,
Seven.
3, and 6 are. They are unnamed. But it looks like the audience is winning with 7 points versus.
I was literally asked one question.
No, you asked 2. You asked 2. Everybody got 2.
Either way.
Actually,
You didn't get
everybody-
skipped, Sarah.
did I skip Sarah? No, I don't think so.
No.
I went around in a
You
circle.
did. You did actually skip me, but it's fine.
Okay, then we'll ask.
It's fine. Oh, you want to ask me something hard that I won't know?
No, I don't have to do that. Let's go with lore questions. Right, Sarah? How about that?
That's what I don't know dick
Okay.
about, but I'll make a good. You said they roll multiple choice. I'll make an educated guess.
Okay. How about this? Let's end this game, and we're going to go back to the quiz kit. Let me see if there's any other...
I don't think he skipped you because it was only 3 questions total. I think you got 3.
That's okay. Don't worry.
I got one question aimed directly at me.
So, Sarah, actually, let's have you choose. You want more rules questions or lore questions?
I'll go with rules.
All right, I got a lot of rules questions. Here we go.
I feel like I have a
Some of
better
them are-
chance at rules
Some of them
than
are
lore.
friggin'
Either
easy.
way, I'm probably gonna suck. But
Some of them are flippin' easy.
Nobody's passed any questions yet or asked a person. It's interesting.
That's true.
I
That's
read
true.
up I read up like a paragraph of lore for most of the stuff, and I thought, screw it, we're going homebrew.
There you
Yeah,
go.
literally,
That's the way to
there's
do
only
it.
one bit of lore I know as the Gith lore.
All right, here we go. Starting with Sarah. Sarah, how many 0-level cantrips, meaning spells, cantrips, does a level... You should know this. You're a sorcerer. How many cantrips does a level 4 sorcerer know? Is the answer 4, 6, 5, or depends on sorceress origin?
4.
Okay. Let's see what our player base as well knows.
They counted me.
Because I don't think there's any sorcerer's origin that gives you an extra cantrip, and you start at 4. You don't get 5 until you're at like level 10.
Can you say the word cantrip again real quick?
Cantrip.
Okay. Thank you.
Why did I say something that sounded weird and drunk a minute ago?
It started to slur a little bit, Sarah.
That's fair.
Can't flip. The
I'm
answer,
on the second bottle of wine. It's fine.
God bless you. The answer is 5.
Really? At
Really?
level 4?
You
At
start with
level
4. Yeah, I
four.
think you get another one
At
at level 3.
level
Oh,
4,
shit.
you get another cantrip.
You just say level 4.
I honestly thought you didn't get it till further up. Okay, that's
Here we
fair.
go.
That's legit.
Alex.
Having a starting amount based on your origin sounds interesting, though.
It
I
does.
almost wish they did that.
Here we go.
Well, yeah.
Hold on, everybody shut up. Alex,
Yes, sir.
how many times can a level 12 barbarian rage per day? Is the answer 4? Actually, 3, 4, 5, or 2, but a short rest lets you regain the expended use?
I think it might be 2, but a short rest lets you gain the expended. It's either 2, but a short rest lets you gain the expended use, or 4. I would never play a barbarian.
Good answer. I like this
Good answer,
answer.
good answer.
I support this answer.
All right, so your answer is 2. Correct? But a short rest lets you regain?
Yeah, sure.
Super. All right. Getting chat to come in on some questions here.
That was a weird noise.
That was the bus outside my fucking apartment. My microphone is ridiculously sensitive. I don't know why. All right. The answer is 5. You can rage 5 times at level 12.
Duly noted.
It's fucking
I
crazy.
think you start with 2 at level
You do
1.
start with 2. I thought I didn't know. I thought it didn't raise. I guess it did.
Maybe it's time
Richard!
to play a barbarian. I don't
It
know.
does go up like little bits. Like I think the max is only like.
Richard, if you don't know this, you just get out the chair and tell Septur to come on back.
I can never decide what I want to do more, like just beat the shit out of someone with my weapon or
There we go.
cast a bunch of AoE spells and fuck everyone up.
Richard, how many hit dice does a level 10 fighter have available to spend when taking a short rest? Is the answer 10d10, 11d10, 10d12, or it depends on their race.
Depends on the race. That's interesting. Fighters, I believe, are D10s, so 10 D10.
Okay. See what chat thinks. Chat has come in with the same answer as you, it seems, for the most part, and the answer is, in fact, 10d10. Well done.
Nice.
Only class to actually get the D12 is the barbarians.
Hallelujah. Holy shit. Here we go.
All
Kraw.
right, noted.
The only other class to get a D10 is Paladin.
Kraw. Which race is not included in the 5th edition of Dungeons and Dragons Player's Handbook? Is the answer A, Half-Orc, B, Gnome, C, Aarakocra, or D,
It's Aarakocra. It's in Bolos.
or D, Tiefling.
Sorry.
Yep, that's cool. It's cool. It's cool. Yeah.
Right cross my voter friend.
Honestly,
Yeah, exactly.
For a half second there, I did have to think about half orc. I was like, half orc.
No, half orcs. Yeah, half orcs. No, if there's no orc. Orc is also
For a
in
half
Bolos.
second. That's what it
Yeah.
was. That's what made me confused. For a half second, I was like, wait a minute. But then no, I remembered.
And chat does seem to be very convinced by your very straightforward answer there, Kraw. Thank you very much. And it does seem to be that most of them, if not, yes, all of them got Aarakocra. Well done. All right, here we go. Sarah, which of the following would count as a simple weapon?
Okay.
A, hand crossbow. B, short sword. C, whip. Or D, dagger.
Which one is a simple weapon?
Correct.
Pretty sure it's dagger, but can I hear them one more time?
Hand crossbow, short sword, whip, or dagger.
Dagger.
Okay, final answer. Let's see what everybody else thinks. Dagger, 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 dagger. Come on, players in chat. Here it comes. Oh, one person said short sword. One person said whip. The answer is dagger.
Woo!
A dagger is a simple weapon. That is correct.
It wasn't short sword.
Short sword, I immediately knew was martial. Dagger.
I knew it wasn't hand crossbow either,
Obvious.
because crossbows aren't simple.
The cross.
Because I know, well, the thing is, like, I know in
Remember that one?
Pathfinder, you can get a whip at a low, like, martial
Anyways.
level. And I know in D&D you can't.
Alex, which of these races gets dark vision? Halfling,
Oh.
Dragonborn, human, dwarf.
Halfling and dwarf.
Okay. Which one of them gets dark vision? Halfling, Dragonborn, human, or dwarf?
Dragonborns get that devil vision, and or some other type of vision. No, devil sight. That's only if you are a. So it's Dragonborn.
Okay.
I think it's Dragonborn.
The answer is dwarf. Dwarves get dark vision.
No, we had this whole fucking thing with Dagrid where he couldn't see in the dark. You could have sworn.
It's a warlock thing. It's a warlock thing.
Devil's like, well, there is actually in Tasha's the Ravenite Dragonborn or the Dragonblood. I think Dragonblood Dragonborn do get dark vision, but Dragonborn themselves, as a base, do not.
Oh my god, I fucking mixed up campaigns. That's what I did. It's fine.
Yeah,
Okay.
It makes sense that dwarves have dark vision. I
Richard,
mixed up campaigns.
What is the term used for a paladin who has turned away from his charge and turned to evil? Is it A, Narzugon, B, Dark Jedi, C, Death Knight, or D, Oathbreaker?
Death Knight's pretty cool. I'm definitely going to use Dark Jedi on my next campaign,
You're welcome.
but it's Oathbreaker.
Okay.
It's totally Oathbreaker.
Whoa, are you giving me answers?
He said it first. I was just
I know, I'm just
agreeing.
kidding. I think it's Narzagon.
You think it's
Guys, I'm
Narzugon?
saying.
Yeah, okay.
No,
Yeah.
no, of course
Okay.
not. Narzagon, I think it's a devil.
Alrighty. The answer is indeed Oathbreaker. Well done. All right, moving on.
Hey, Death Knights can be paladins and turn to evil too.
That is true, but I never said anything about them being dead. Okay.
True.
Here we go. Kraw. Which one of these backgrounds is an option in the 5th edition Player's Handbook?
Oh no.
These are easy. I'm sure you know them. Sorcerer, Scholar, Scribe, or Sage. Which one?
Well, it's either Scribe or Sage, but I don't know which. I think, if I remember correctly, it's Sage. So I'll say Sage.
Okay. Here we go. We're going to go only a few more, because it looks like Sarah's about to faceplant into her keyboard.
I'm totally fine.
It's because he's drunk.
Just because I'm drunk doesn't mean I'm not awake.
I'm
It's
just
a very
making sure.
different-
I'm just making sure you're okay, Sarah. It's all good.
There is a
My
scholar, but
husband's
the
already
cloistered-
asleep on the couch.
The
so
scholar
Oh,
is a
God
whatever
damn it.
cloistered scholar.
We tried
not
so
a-
hard.
Yeah,
It's fine.
yeah. I don't know if it's in the. I don't know.
I'll see him
All
tomorrow.
right, all right. One
Order,
person
officer,
says
I'm not drunk, God.
one person said Scholar, one person said Sage. The answer is Sage. Correct.
Yeah, there is a scholar, but it's called cloistered scholar. Yeah, I don't know if it's PHP.
All right.
It's definitely not PHP.
Here we go. Oh my gosh. Alex, if you don't know this, there is a problem. This is a
Yeah, now
long...
you skip Sarah. Now you skip Sarah.
No, I just... Oh,
just
shit.
asked me.
I did. My
Huh.
fucking fault. You're right. Okay.
Give me the hard ass question. It's
Here we
fine.
go. What is the name of the feature?
Oh god.
Okay, actually, it's kind of a little bit of a long question, but here we go.
Okay.
This,
Lay
this,
it on me.
this is pretty goddamn easy. If you don't know this, I don't know what's wrong. A 13th level rogue sneaks across the rooftop silent as a shadow. She ties a rope to a chimney and rappels quickly down the wall of a large house before jimmying a window open with a successful sleight of hand check. She pulls out a hand crossbow, aims it at a sleeping figure inside, and lets loose the bolt. The player rolls 8 six-sided dice to determine the damage. What is the name of the feature she utilized to get so many dice? Is it A, assassinate, B, coup de grace, C, sneak attack, or D, snack attack?
Did it give us the rogue's level?
Sure. It is a 13th level rogue.
And
I'm
she
sorry, I
rolled
just
how
don't-
many dice?
I just
8.
zoned out. Was that for Sarah or for me?
No, that was
It's
for
for
Sarah.
me.
Yours the next one, Sarah.
I'm
Alex,
gonna
sorry.
assume it's sneak attack.
Okay. The answer is...
Isn't this? I think this is assassinate. I'm not sure.
It is due to the fact that she is only 13th level and rolls 8 six-sided dice.
Shit.
It is only a
Probably.
sneak attack. Assassinate
Oh,
has
it is a sneak attack. Yeah.
nothing to do with it. All right, here we go. Alex, the 6th
attack.
level spell Disintegrate is a powerful damage spell that does a massive amount of force damage. Additionally, what happens to a character when they are killed by Disintegrate? Is it A, the magic items they are carrying are destroyed? B, their soul is destroyed, preventing them from being resurrected? C, they become a zombie? Or D, they turn into a pile of dust?
I'm gonna do this in Richard's style.
Do it.
A's bullshit. Straight up. All right. B, I don't know what the fuck they were
He's wrong, he's
thinking.
not wrong.
And C's ridiculous. They turn into a pile of fucking ash.
Yes. Wow. Nice. That was
Love it.
Well, good job.
Alex wins.
That was 100%.
Alex wins.
Richard,
Okay.
Amazing.
you have just been given tribute. I hope you enjoyed it.
I wish it became a zombie, but that's a.
We
different
love you,
spell.
man. We want you in our campaign.
Hells yes. All right.
We do. Richard, we love your background noises. They're hilarious.
Richard.
Bullshit.
Bullshit. Here we go. Richard,
Bullshit.
let's hope this question isn't bullshit, Richard. Here we go. This question is for you, sir. This 2nd level spell, available to clerics, paladins, and bards, can prevent a target from lying. Is it A, glibness, B, aura of honesty, C, suggestion, or D, zone of truth?
Bullshit spell. Bullshit.
Bullshit. Bullshit. Fuck.
Bullshit.
Aura of honesty rolls off the tongue very nicely,
It does.
but it is zone of truth.
Oh, see how he played that shit, guys? See how he played
Jokes
that?
on you. It's actually
I mean-
suggestion because bards can't cast it. No, I'm kidding.
What the fuck?
No, my paladin got yelled at all the time by my party for casting this spell. I know
Zone of
exactly
truth.
what it is.
They didn't like it. I remember.
All right.
I got yelled at for casting that spell all the time, and I'm like, dudes, I'm just trying to help.
Craw.
Oh no, which
Here we
one?
go.
Oh no.
What is the most crucial difference between the spell Reincarnate and the spell Raise Dead? How odd that it would fall to you to determine the difference.
Ah,
Is it A,
Funny.
Raise Dead can only be performed on a character who has been dead for at most 10 days, but Reincarnate can be performed on a character who's been dead for up to a year? That's A. B, Raise Dead revives the character's original body, while Reincarnate restores their soul to a new healthy body. C, Raise Dead requires the dead character's soul to be free and willing. Reincarnate does not. Or D, Raise Dead is more expensive to cast.
So Crucial is doing a lot of heavy lifting this question. I would say the new healthy body answer.
Okay.
So Raise Dead's original body, Reincarnate's a new healthy body.
Okay.
I agree. It's option B.
Okay. Let's see. Chat is answering. The answer is yes. Raise Dead revives the character's original body, while Reincarnate restores their soul to a new healthy body. Well done. Here we go.
Only because I researched that heavily, being a paladin in Cross other campaigns.
Sarah, I know you may have never played a wizard, but here we go. At level 2,
Okay.
the
All right.
wizard can choose one arcane tradition to specialize in.
Oh dear God.
I want my wizard to be a suave, sweet-talking, charming spy who moves in high society. Which of these arcane traditions would perhaps best help him reach his goal? Is it A, the School of Abjuration, B, the School of Evocation, C, the School of Enchantment, or D, the School of Transmutation?
I'm gonna go with C, the School of Enchantment.
All right.
Wow, I wonder why. Does the name Naxter ring any bells?
It
That's a
actually
Wednesday
wasn't because of Naxter and the bitch. It was mostly just because that's actually the most useful.
Fair enough.
Most people said the School of Enchantment, but
Oh.
the actual answer is the School of Evocation.
Ah,
Due to
interesting.
certain spells that the School of Evocation has. Most people think when they think evocation, they think, I want to cast a giant fucking fireball at somebody and have them fucking burn in flames. But the truth of the matter is that evocation allows you to cast certain spells, which will cause you to have a greater chance at social encounters than would you if you were to, for example, have abjuration type spells or enchantment spells or even transmutation spells.
Alright, that's fair. That's legit.
I would put illusion or enchantment first.
Yeah, that if I put illusion, that would have been too fucking easy.
I
easy.
made my best bet.
Here we go.
And
Alex.
it had nothing to do with Nostril the bitch. Just so
Alex.
you know.
Alex, go for it.
What wizard lends his or her name to a spell featuring a floating disc? Is it A, Philidor the Blue, B, Nistool, C, Tensor, or D, Jalarzi's Salivarian?
Fuck if I know. I think it's C. Tensor.
All right.
Can I hear
Holy
the
shit.
names again?
Philidor the Blue, Nistool, Tensor, Jalarzi Salivarian.
Can't believe you walked into that one.
Alex says Tensor. Chat agrees. And the answer is Tensor's floating disc. You are correct, sir.
Nice.
Well done.
I don't know how you got that, Alex. That's good.
All right.
Nicely done,
Not
sir.
dark, but it worked.
Get
Here we
into
go.
Swing Disc.
Question for Richard. Jack is about to go fight a horde of skeletons led by an evil necromancer. Which of these weapons should he grab from the shop before he charges into battle? A, spear. B, warhammer. C, longbow. D, greatsword.
I myself am more partial to longbow, maybe the gray sword, but the warhammer is the correct answer.
Okay. Let's see what chat says. Chat. Checking it out. Not quite sure. Come on, chat. Fill it in. There we go. The answer is yes, chat has indeed chosen the warhammer. And you are correct. Warhammer it is.
So, like,
are not a lot.
I really want Richard to come play with us because his meta knowledge has not failed yet.
There are not a lot of
I'm just
vulnerabilities in the
saying.
game.
That's right.
One of them is
Skeletons.
Bludgeoning for skeletons.
That's
is
right.
One of the more
That's the one.
common ones.
That's the one. That's the one. All right.
Yep.
That's why you can punch a skeleton.
Kraw,
Oh.
here's a question for about the wish spell.
Oh, here we go.
Wish, a 9th level spell, is perhaps the most powerful spell in the game, allowing the caster to do just about anything as long as the DM agrees. However, under most circumstances, casting Wish immediately significantly weakens the caster. In which case does this not occur? Is it A?
Wish is used to replicate a lower level spell.
I was going to allow myself to speak the other 4.
All right, go ahead. Go ahead. I apologize.
I
Right,
feel like
that's
this
fine.
actually should have been my question.
Yeah.
That's fine.
It should have.
Go ahead, Matt. Go ahead.
A, when Wish is used to replicate a lower level spell. B, when the player chooses one of the 5 effects explicitly listed in the spell's description. C, when the DM rules the Wish isn't too powerful. Or, I said C. D, when Wish is used to reverse another spell. Kraw chooses when Wish is used to replicate a lower level spell. And the
I remember
answer
specifically because,
And
Wish.
he is
specifically-
correct.
is correct.
Yeah, the 5 effects are just recommendations.
You are.
I
correct.
feel like he skipped me just because I know all of that. Wish, but that's
He didn't
fine.
skip you. You're next.
You are next.
I thought I was before you, but okay.
Sarah.
Yeah.
An intelligent spellcaster who learned how to do magic through years of study is a what? A wizard, a sorcerer, a mage, or a warlock?
Wizard.
Yeah, that one was pretty
Yeah,
easy.
that was
Paladin.
like a
That one
really
was
easy
that one was
question.
pretty fucking easy. Look, I
I'm
mixed.
like, that was
It
a
seems to have
wizard.
taken like all my like super hard and my super easy ones and just sort of went and mushed them all together.
I'm like, yeah, that's a
that's a wizard. Yeah, like-
man.
It's the
That's-
paladin.
Yes.
couple
well
of
done.
underhands.
It's a fucking wizard.
Yeah, it's a
It's not that hard.
fucking wizard. You're a wizard, Harry.
It's a fucking wizard. No, you know what? If Harry Potter had won a quiz, it'd be like, oh, you're a fucking wizard,
You're a
Harry.
fucking wizard, Harry.
Harry,
Actually,
Harry, a goddamn wizard. Get in the back of my Jeep, it'll be fine.
Technically, Harry's a sorcerer. Let's just call a spade a spade.
Oh, Harry's totally a wild magic sorcerer.
Oh, yeah.
But
Yeah. I mean,
in their universe, because he's a man who creates magic, he's a
Strange,
wizard.
the sorcerer supreme. is
Just
also a
like,
wizard.
just like Hermione is also a magic sorcerer, but she's a witch.
here we go. Alex.
Okay, I'm just
Yes, sir.
saying. I'm just saying.
Alex. How many bonus actions, this is good for you, can be taken by one player in a round? Is the answer A, 1, B, 2, 3, depends on your race, or 4, depends on your class?
Depends on your class. What? Repeat it again. What?
Sorry, A, 1.
No, what's the question?
The question is, how many bonus actions can be taken by one player in a round? A, 1, B, 2, C, depends on your race, or D, depends on your class.
Depends on your class.
All right.
I vote 1.
Any other dissenting opinions? The answer is 1. You are only able to take one bonus round
What's actually
during your bonus action during the round.
Matt's drunk.
I am drunk on grapes. I just had a giant bowl of grapes. All right. Ugh.
A lot of abilities that could double or even give you more actions, but nothing gives you an extra bonus action.
Nothing gives you an extra
Richard,
bonus
you
action.
have lived with a warlock for a good period of time, so I would think that just by osmosis you should know the answer to this question. Here we go. In total, how many invocations would a level 17 Pact of the Chain warlock have available? Is the answer 7, 5, 8, or it depends on the warlock's patron?
One interruption, real quick. I was right about my last.
Yeah, you were right. Yeah. Oh no, wait, no. You said depends on the class. The answer was 1. No, it takes 1. 1 bonus action per round.
Rogue takes the cut.
Main action just lets it so as a bonus action they could dash, dodge, or disengage.
What your bonus action can be is widely varied, but you only get 1.
Right. You can't get your bonus action again on someone else's turn in a round. Richard, I'll repeat the question. In total, how many invocations would a level 17 Pact of the Chain Warlock have available? A, 5, B, 7, C, 8, or D, it depends on the Warlock's patron.
I don't recall patron changing anything. Anytime I've always played a warlock, I've always done pack.
You can phone a friend.
Oh.
You can phone a friend. You can phone a friend.
Let me think this out real quick.
All right.
I've only ever played Pact of the Blade Warlock, so I don't not recall if Chain actually does anything for invocations. I believe it doesn't. Chain is a fine familiar one, if I remember correctly.
This could all be a red herring.
I figured it was much, but I could be wrong. I've been wrong before.
It could not be.
What was answer B?
What?
What was answer B again?
B was 7.
7? Level 17? 7 sounds right, so I'm gonna go B, final answer.
I'm taking 5.
All right.
I'd say 8.
All right. Chat seems to think it depends on the Warlock patron. The correct answer, Richard is 4 for 4 here, folks. He has chosen the correct answer. The answer is 7.
Damn, Richard.
It was off by 1 error for me.
Level 17, 5 invocations sounds too low.
That's why I
That's
picked 8
fair.
instead of 7. Though. I wasn't sure.
I was more like there
Of
has
course,
to be
of
a way to
course.
keep warlocks from being super OP, so it's 5.
I heard Septur in the background screaming in either fury or something. I'm not sure what the fuck.
He's probably playing a goddamn video game and doesn't know.
That was a good one, Richard.
Is that what he's doing? Is that what he's doing?
Well done,
He's
Richard.
surprised?
Yeah, what is Septur doing back there?
Just chilling.
Oh, okay.
Okay, he's
All
chilling.
right. Final round here, folks. Here we go. Kraw. What would be a spell that a level 14 Elvish Eldritch Knight fighter could cast? Is it A, Gaseous Form, B, Phantasmal Killer, C, True Seeing, or D, none of these? He can only learn Evocation or Abjuration spell.
So elves do learn spells, but they're like cantrips, I think. And it's true, Eldritch Knights can only learn Evocation, Abjuration spells. So I'm actually going to go with the last one. None of these.
Final answer.
Yep.
Okay.
I could be wrong on that.
Let's
though.
see what
I'm not
chat
really
thinks.
honest.
Chat.
Maybe an elf.
Chat seems to think the answer is that as well, that he can only learn Evocation or Abjuration spells. The actual answer, however, sir, is Gaseous Form.
Yes.
Because Eldritch Knight fighters can learn Evocation and Abjuration spells up to level, I believe, 5 or 8, after which they can start to learn different types of spells, including Gaseous Form, which is part of the wizard spell list. Okay, final question for Sarah.
Okay.
This is perfect. Look at this. A level 16 sorcerer
Okay.
with 1 8th level spell slot available each day has 16 sorcerer points. The sorcerer decides to use these sorcery points to get more spell slots. How many level 8 spell slots will it give them if they use all 16? Is the answer A, 1, burning all your points will give you 1 slot of your highest level? B, 2, slots cost 2 sorcery points per level of spell? C, 0, a level 16 sorcerer can't cast 8th level spells yet? Or D, 0, sorcery points can only give slots for level 5 spells maximum?
Well, it's not D.
It's a tough one.
And level 16?
Level 16. This is fucking tough.
No, wait. So give me the first 3 options again. I'm going to do a level.
Sure.
I'm going to do a meltdown here.
A, burning all your points will give you 1 slot of your highest level.
Yeah, that's a lie.
B, 2 slots cost 2 sorcery points per level of spell. C, a level 16 sorcerer can't cast 8 level spells yet, so 0. Or D, 0 sorcery points can only give slots for levels 5 spells max.
Can you read me 2 again?
Sure. 2, which is B, slots cost 2 sorcery points per level of spell.
Mm-hmm. Were there more words to that?
Nope. Show your sorcerer knowledge. Do it.
It is 2 sorcery point. I'm gonna go with B. It's 2 sorcery. 2. No, wait. Hold on, fuck, but it's not always. What was level 3? What was choice C?
Choice C was 0. A level 16 sorcerer cannot cast
no.
8th level spells yet.
I'm gonna go with B.
B, slots cost 2 sorcery points per level of spell, so therefore 2 spell slots. Correct?
If I were gonna burn all 16.
Which would give you 2 8th level spell slots back.
No, actually, I'm going with C. I don't think I get this till 8th. I don't think I get 8th level till 17th.
All right.
I'm gonna go with C.
C, 0.
C.
A 6th level sorcerer cannot cast 8th level spells yet. Final answer.
Final answer.
The answer is
0.
D, 0.
Ah,
Because sorcerer points can only give slots for level 5 spells. Maximum.
I have literally never read that rule.
Yeah. Level 5 max.
From
Otherwise,
Literally
otherwise it would be. Yeah. Otherwise, it'd be
never
1.
seen that rule. Okay, all right, no, I'm not mad. Like, it's fine. It is what it is. But I have never seen
Everybody
that rule.
learns
Phone a
something
friend.
new.
Phone a friend.
I would never have gotten that shit.
What I always saw was like, and so on, is what it always said.
Alex,
It was like, yeah, yeah, okay.
here we go.
That's legit.
What year was the first edition of Dungeons and Dragons published? 1982, 1969, 1984, 1974.
74. 74 is my final answer.
Okay. Let's see what chat thinks. Let's see if chat was around back then. It's like 1974. The fuck? 1969? Yeah, Red says 1969. Nice. Good job, Red. Nice. Okay. One person did in fact put it on 1969, but the answer is, in fact, as well Alex said, 1974. Correct. And the final question of tonight's quiz goes to Richard. Let's see if this is a good one or not. Okay. Richard. In a party of a fighter, a warlock, a monk, a barbarian, and a cleric, which good thing is shared with all the members of the party reaching level 9? Is it A, class feature, B, qualify now for a multiclassing, C, additional damage with weapon or spells, or D, add 1 to proficiency bonus?
Proficiency bonuses are a thing. Originally, I was looking at class feature was sounding good, but now you brought up the proficiency bonus, and I have to remember my math for that.
Doom, doom, doom. Doom, doom, doom.
One of our.
Bum, 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 bum,
Oh God! Oh, I'm sorry, I'm coughing a lot. I apologize.
bum, 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 bum.
I remember it's like 4 or 5.
Ba-dum,
Boom.
bum,
That's actually
bum,
correct. It's not
bum,
proficiency.
bum.
So, A was the class features, correct?
That is correct.
A, final answer.
A, final answer.
It can't be that. It's
Someone in chat
proficiency.
said someone said class feature. Richard has ruined his perfect score. Ruined it, damn it.
It was a
The
cleric.
answer is add 1 to proficiency bonus.
Richard, at level 9,
Yeah.
clerics get their 4th level spells, which means they don't get anything extra from class features because they get their 4th level spells. That's
So
why.
I do actually have a question for the group as a whole.
Yes.
to each individual player, what is your favorite inter-character RP moment?
So many.
That's the easy
What
one.
is your
Between-
best moment with another character?
When Ferros first kissed Talron.
No, I'm talking about solely in Dungeon of the Mad Mage.
When Ferros.
Same answer. Would you like me to pass the torch back to the actual player to get his answer?
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, that's fine. Thank you for the
Make him get
quiz,
his ass
Richard.
back in the chair. Thank you, Richard. It's lovely to
Great
see
being here,
you.
guys. I was that proficiency thing. I was doing the math in my head real quick.
Yeah,
I
the-
did it wrong.
What got me, I think it was proficiency bonus, was the cleric. Because they get 4th level spells, not a class
Mm.
feature.
I don't know what exactly most characters get at specific levels.
You don't
but
need to.
3rd, 5th, 7th, 9th, 11, 13, 15, 17.
I don't
We're
play nor
gonna
run enough
finish
characters
we're gonna
now.
finish tonight's episode on that question, Sarah. So we're gonna answer it and then we're all gonna say goodnight.
All right, Richard should pass over the email.
Thank you,
Let's
Richard.
bring our Talron back. Good night,
Bring
Richard.
our
It was so
Septur back. Good
nice
night,
to see you.
Richard.
Good night, guys.
Good night, buddy.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, let's have that question. Okay, so you said when Talron first kissed Ferros. I love this.
Well, he's just telling them it's Mad Mage, so I have to think a little bit now.
Yeah,
But
that's
so within the realm, I'll say it again because Talron is back.
What's up, Seth?
Within the realm of Mad Mage, what is your favorite player interaction RP moment?
I guess I'll just go first. I have so many in my head. I'm thinking of like between a few of them. So like obviously Zeke and Ferros talking for the 27 days is very potent. Obviously, I think even the Ferros infighting was actually really interesting. even Ferros singing to Talron when he's asleep. I think in the end, what I most think was most important for Ferros and what was I felt like was most interesting, it's like session 2 when he was walking around with Talron through the water deep. And that was it.
Nice.
And I think you grabbed a snack from a bakery. Well,
Oh yeah, you definitely did. You guys got pies, I think.
Red Platinum wants to know if we got the results for the last game. I wasn't counting points at all, so it doesn't really matter. Just like whose line is
Love
it
you,
anyway? This is a game where the points don't
matter.
So yeah, Septur, Alex, you guys got some favorites?
Oh, in terms of like social interactions.
Yeah, like RP interactions with other characters. What is your favorite?
Ooh.
Or what is not necessarily a favorite? What is something that stands out to you?
Matt, that's
I mean, pick
honestly,
a couple if you need to. It's fine.
that is extremely hard to say, honestly.
2.5
'cause-
years worth of. You should have at least
Mm.
one.
I mean, apart from all the silly stuff that's usually happened, like especially like the walls are on the walls flat.
Oh my god, that
Oh.
fucking Jesus Christ, that shit.
I'm
No,
so-
Oh
no,
my
I want
god.
to say the worst interaction. Is that what you're asking about? See?
No,
No,
that's-
I was actually asking about the most memorable, so
Oh.
it could be bad or good
In which campaign?
in Mad
Mad
Mage
Mage.
specifically.
Oh, in Mad Mage.
Because honestly, like one of my most memorable character interactions was after I had the vision. Thank you, Hallister, in which I realized that Elbauthin was one of the cops who arrested my mom. And I let that go on for a couple of days, and then there was a quiet moment somewhere near the end of level 10 after Muriel's Gauntlet, where Elbauthin and I were walking together, and I was like, so,
Yeah.
you arrested my mom. That's not cool. And like we chatted about it for a second. And at the end of it, like Elbauthin and Zeke were cool, were simpatico, and it was because like Elbauthin was like, I'm just doing my job, and Zeke's like, I know, but that you doing your job fucked up my life. And Elbauthin was kind of like, yeah, sorry. And it's like it wasn't an apology, but it was like an understanding.
Mm-hmm.
And that is why I went on to write this like later story where even though they didn't remember each other, they kind of had a balance. Because in that moment, they kind of had a balance where Elbauthin is like, yeah, I understand I hurt you, but I was doing my job. And Zeke's like, I get you were doing your job, but you fucked up my life. And because they'd been through so much together, there was like there was this nice little moment of balance. And that was something I like that's a moment that stands out to me like as a character interaction moment in this campaign. Like just felt it in the heart. Like two people who are both walking the paths they were meant to walk and they weren't meant to intersect, but they also respect each other in some crazy way. Like,
yeah,
I like that a lot. That to me feels a lot like real life.
I mean, gotta love the love in the air between Ferros and Talron, so.
No, I mean, even though Zeke was just like, I don't get it. I don't get it. The fuck is going on? Why? No, Zeke was very much just like, Talron, I like you. You're a cool dude. What the fuck is up with your boyfriend? I don't understand him. I don't like him. He's a dick. Why are you here?
A lot of that going on.
There was that, like, it took a lot. It was basically until after the mist. After the mist, Zeke was finally like, all right, I still don't necessarily like him, but I understand him, so okay. If that's what you want to do, I guess, all right.
What about you, Alex?
I mean, it's hard to keep it. It's hard to keep.
What's that?
The beholder with the dwarf in the painting.
Ha!
Mm.
That was fun.
That whole crux with the what are we gonna do? Should we? It was sort of fucking ridiculous, to be honest with you. I was like, okay, well, you know, like we kill the beholder, but Ferros managed to convince the evil fucking beholder not to kill us. It was a little strange.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Wait, which are you talking about? Are you talking about the one, most recent one? During the
Netherskull.
fight?
No, Netherskull.
Well, I thought you were talking about the other one. That was
That was not recent.
Okay, it wasn't on the Mike level because he convinced another beholder.
That was true, but that beholder was just like he had a bad boss.
Okay.
Fucking that.
Okay. The one Alex, I remember Netherskull. That was
Mage.
episode 47. That's why I said that one earlier.
Yeah, where it was like and Zeke and I were aligned and wanting to kill the beholder, but I think Talron and Ferros
because you and I had shared the secret card together, and we're like,
me
fuck,
and
we gotta kill this guy.
Yeah.
Because Kraw had fucking Nerthios. Was anyone supposed to befriend Nerthios?
Nope.
Yeah, exactly.
What was up with that, man?
I don't know.
What's up with that?
I don't even.
He rolled right. That's all that matters.
It's like, you know, the kind of thing where like I threw like 40 or 50 zombies at him, and he rolled a goddamn 100 on his wild magic, and just.
Oh my god!
If I GM a campaign,
well, no, he had Nerthios way before that. He had Nerthios way before
job,
that.
Alex. That's the right way to do it. Yeah.
Well, it's like I always remember one of my favorite memes is a guy who's like, yeah, I was teaching my daughter and her friends how to play D&D, and I brought them up to a town of wolves, a town that was surrounded by wolves, and they decided to feed the wolves and befriend them. And now they're running around with a wolf army.
With an army of wolves.
And I'm like, fuck yes, girls! This is what we're supposed to do. You don't always have to kill it. But it also
you're telling me. I know.
I mean, it depends on who I'm playing. Like, with Zeke, wolves. If they're sentient and they're trying to kill her, go fuck off. If they are...
animals.
pet level,
Right.
We should ask
then
Matt the
I
question.
want them to be my friend.
Yeah.
Matt,
Zeke
I mean-
still had Kathy the spider.
That's right.
You know, a part of me still wish, like, if we actually had like a normal ending, and if we had all lived, a part of me still kind of wish that we all, like, that me and Ferros kind of stayed in the manner of Zeke's.
Troll
Well, that's
Skull
actually
Manor.
like we
Yeah.
talked about the reset ending. If we had had the ending we all thought was coming that we didn't get.
Just saying. Where else am I supposed to stay? I'm not even from the mainland.
Well, no, like Zeke would have gone back to Troll Skull with all the money,
Mm-hmm.
and not only that, but having delved back into Under Mountain and gotten that fucking finger, she would have had the ring.
Mm-hmm.
So she would have had a favor owed to her by one of the largest crime families.
I was ready for it. I'll be honest, folks. That ending was not the ending that I was planning for.
What were you planning for?
I mean,
honestly?
I
Because it
did
seemed like
that,
you were
and
gonna
actually,
What was I planning
Matt-
for? Good question.
Everyone dying.
No,
Matt,
not everyone.
I talked to a
Okay.
couple of the other
Okay.
players before you came in, where like I felt a little bit guilty about that
Mm-hmm.
because I took so much narrative control over how the story ended, and that wasn't my intent.
No, you didn't.
It was literally looking at, and like Zeke sees
Mm-hmm.
that Dagran's about to die,
Yep.
and
And
Ferros is about to die,
I can
and
guarantee.
everyone else isn't far behind.
Yep.
Like she is just gonna throw out whatever she can.
Hail
think
Mary.
of.
Absolutely.
Yeah. But like I like as a player,
Mhm.
I felt bad for doing that because I felt like I was taking away narrative control for others.
I don't believe so, because chances are one of two things would have occurred, and I had no control over it. It was simply the dice and the
Oh
combat
yeah,
mechanics.
it's always the goddamn dice.
Number one, many things with that last encounter would have probably spelled doom for one or more of you. And you probably would have, at a certain point, would have felt as players, not as characters, but as players, one of two things. Immediate and all-consuming despair, or invigoration, knowing that something else was going to happen.
What?
And I cannot abide by having the role of the dice necessarily be the arbiter of that decision. But if so be it, so be it. Sometimes that's the way it has to be.
What's it?
I Sarah, sorry, Septur. Yeah, I did. Sarah did literally tell you, and this is me as a player, just do the crazy thing.
I remember.
So you didn't take at least you didn't take narrative control from me if you're worried about that. 'Cause
That's
you know
true.
I.
Because
Yeah.
actually, the funny thing is, when I first yelled that at Ferros, the thing I was gonna do isn't what I ended up doing. I ended up doing
Mhm.
something else.
Mhm. And I was very aware that Zeke had a wish spell.
Yeah.
Hallister did not. He used his wish to actually bring you back to Waterdeep, bring you all back to Waterdeep, and give you the level 20. The only wish was the fly in the ointment, of course, was yours. And wishes are very tricky.
Mm.
If you use your wish, if you used your wish, let's say, to cast, I don't know, resurrection, because there were some spells that Jaciria had that would have just absolutely annihilated poor Dagran. There would have been nothing left.
Yeah.
I was lower
Yeah.
HP than Dagran, just saying. At the end there.
Yep, absolutely. So I was counting on, okay, what happens if, number one, Sarah still has her level 9 spell? Is she going to use wish to immediately resurrect Dagran right there and then? Or not? That would be, that's an
Not
out.
style, man.
Totally.
Yeah.
That's an out, right? But from a DM's perspective, if you're going to start to push the pressure on to your player base, here's a hint. Kill the healer. Kill the healer as soon as humanly fucking possible. Especially in a caster-heavy group.
that. We all saw that happening. We all knew what was going on. And it was just kind of like,
Was it?
Zeke is just like, I have this power. I can do this thing. I am like, she's a fucking wild magic sorcerer.
Sure.
She's like, I'm just gonna try and make it right.
Yep.
Like
absolutely.
that's that was what that spell came from.
Right.
And it was like I said, like as a player, I felt bad for taking narrative away from others, but I was also like, half of them are about to die.
Right.
So this is 100% what Zeke would do.
Sure.
She would cast a wish to do her best to make everyone, including Jaciria and Hallister, live. Because she'd been on Jasiria's side that whole time.
Mhm.
And also, like, the minute that Jaciria called out father at Hallister, like, that's just like a motherfucking gut punch to the
Mhm.
girl who's lost her parents.
Yeah.
It's like, that's all I want.
If
All
there-
I want is for everyone to have a happy family.
If
That
there
is-
was one theme, and I know that we're running out of time here, folks, because it is getting kind of late, but if there was one theme, I think, that this particular way the Dungeon of the Mad Mage sort of pulled it all together, it is that it is not necessarily the families that you are born with,
Oh, yeah.
but it is the families that you choose that
Mhm.
make your way in life. D&D in and of itself, the very party mechanic and the sort of utilization of the group of players going and trying to achieving a quest or trying together to keep each other alive, in and of itself is a very minute version of a family. And keeping your family with you and trying to repair your family and trying to make your family do the best that they can do within this game is something that really sort of it pushes me in the right places emotionally as a human being, and I think that it's a very powerful emotive tool in your overall tool chest if you want to elicit the same from your players.
I mean, I came into this game because Chris had to leave. I didn't know any of you.
Mm-hmm.
But now you're all my friends. You're all my people. I hope you all know that. But that's a crazy and interesting thing, the way that happens.
Yup.
Because you're all my people.
And we are happy to say that you are ours.
So Matt, real quick question.
Yay.
Question I'm going to ask tonight.
Do it.
How could we have killed that thing?
Good question. Great question.
Ooh, that is a very good question.
First of all, you were
Right.
definitely doing damage to it. You were definitely whittling it down. It was extremely tough. Probably the most tough thing I've ever put into a game, to be perfectly honest.
Was it possible to win?
Yes, it was possible. There were no impossibilities. I don't like fights that are Kobayashi Marus, if you know what I mean. That's a Star Trek reference, so don't worry about it.
I get you.
Okay, cool.
I'm with
Yeah,
you.
I don't like fights that are impossible to win. I like fights that are tough, and in this case, because it was the last fight, extremely tough. You guys have done some amazingly difficult things, and have, in some cases, guided by the dice or just by great circumstance, finished off certain encounters which I thought would be much more difficult with ease in some cases. And you guys were at level 20 with every single one of your resources available to you and had killed off the first sort of version of that boss. You went full fucking supernova on her. Or on it. And it's
I
still...
actually was holding back because I knew there
Some
was...
of you were, and some of you were not.
I knew there was level 2 coming.
Yes.
I knew it.
And there's a very distinct possibility that some of you knew that from a meta sense, which is totally cool and didn't matter to me. Because I
feel like
version
even
2
even Zeke knew that, like, we haven't seen Jasiri yet, and
I
he knows
thought-
she's a bad guy now.
I thought it was over, I'll be honest. I was like, yeah, cool.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Oh,
I'm
no.
okay with that.
It felt
Like,
a little...
Zeke was
Yeah.
calling out to people early, like, we still have to fight Jasiri, right?
So here's the thing about a boss like that, actually, which I sort of homebrewed, obviously, but I based it off of a variety of high-level monsters. Monsters like that have what are called mythic actions, whereas when they get to a certain number of hit points, then they get more cool stuff that they can use. I found it actually to be better to be the opposite, that if you give the monster the cool actions in the beginning, it makes the players go, oh, fuck. And then as they start to wheel into this monster and make it get bloodied, it loses those abilities.
Oh, interesting.
That way they know, oh shit, that thing doesn't have the aura anymore. That shit doesn't have, we've knocked it down. It doesn't have that ability anymore. Let's just, and just go hammer into it.
Would we have players be able to
That's
figure that out
really interesting.
without doing the same? Because, for example, let's say the anti-healing aura goes away.
Mhm.
How would we know that as players?
You would know because I would tell you.
Oh, okay.
I would
That's why I was
say,
like,
I would say you feel like that strange sort of prickly feeling in your limbs that was preventing you from casting spells that would repair or heal your enemies has disappeared. And you now smell the air, it's clearer, it's less full of filth, and you go, oh shit, does that mean that it's gone? I try a healing spell. It works. Fuck yes. Okay. And then you start going whole hog.
I would say that from a DM perspective, you might need to set that up earlier in the dungeon as a thing that happens. Because otherwise, your players are just going to go on as like, oh my god, this thing is indestructible.
well, also, it's
We
really hard.
were never going to breach its defenses. They're impermeable till it's dead.
Yeah, setting up those
That is
expectations beforehand is always good.
correct. That is exactly the feeling that I had.
Yeah, I was like, there's no.
Like, Zeke
I know
might
it's
not
over. I was
cast
like,
that
"Thank
spell
you."
if she thought we had a chance of defeating this thing,
Mm-hmm.
but she had so many auras that were keeping everything from hurting her,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm watching my friends die that I'm like, yep, nope, gotta do something stupid, gotta make a choice.
Totally
Here
cool.
we go.
Totally
Once I heard the
cool.
healing aura, I triggering flashback to Lyraxia and the
Mhm.
Atropol.
Yep, absolutely.
Mm.
It
And also,
was-
I burned like 50 lay on hands points, Matt. Fuck
yeah,
you.
I know. It was great. So yeah, that was sort of my mindset for that boss. It wasn't to make you feel like it was an impossible situation. It was to feel that this was a really difficult solo boss.
I guess the thing to add, though, Matt, I should add this. There's a reason why things exist as they are sometimes, and there's a reason why, even though like in a reality situation things get weaker as you burn them down, right?
Mhm.
And more like video, like at least from you can learn from video games or stuff like that, where the ending comes and something else comes out afterwards.
Mhm.
It gets stronger to the end. There's probably a reason why that exists,
Mhm.
and because, for example, like at the beginning, if everything's front loaded, you're gonna feel like, well, there's nothing we could do. We're just fucked. But if one, you either set up beforehand, or two, you make it so it builds up near the end. It seems like, oh, we're chipping into it, but it gets harder as you go along. You know,
Mhm,
it's
mhm.
hard to say, but it seems like there's a
it is
reason why
hard to
that's
say
done.
because sometimes I've had the exact opposite response from certain players.
Yeah.
A much
Oh, okay.
much lower level monsters, obviously. But you know, they
Well,
say,
yeah.
you know, that way we know we're doing something because the abilities start going away.
If you set up beforehand as well with like a weaker monster,
Mhm.
and the weaker monster's losing stuff, and then you go a more powerful monster,
It's a difficult proposition to front into your games to let your players know that, because then they have meta knowledge that you
Well, it's
don't
not really meta-
necessarily. It does. It is
Oh.
meta knowledge because it is letting you know that, oh well, because this monster has these abilities that are slowly going away. Oh, it means that we're getting towards the halfway point.
Oh,
No, but that's not. I don't actually think that's just what Kraw is saying. It's like if you
No, dude, if you know something
you
is getting weak, you can
scale
see that
all
it's
of
getting
your
weak.
bosses, only your bosses, so that the more you hit them, the weaker they get. Then when you get to the final seems insurmountable boss,
Mm-hmm.
the party will have that in mind, like, oh, the more we hit them, the weaker they get. Whereas we didn't have that, so we're hitting her and she's not getting weaker, and we're like, fuck, we're all gonna fucking die, bitches.
Well,
Like-
remember, you did hit her quite a lot, and then she absorbed a good amount of hit points.
Yeah,
back.
exactly. Like, it literally, like,
Dude, like I did 64
both Zeke
points
as a
of damage to her.
character and myself as a player would not have cast that wish spell if I hadn't looked at my party and been like, fuck, half of us are about to die.
Right. Alex,
By the way-
hold on 1 second, Septur. Alex, you were saying something?
I did like 64 points of damage to her at one point, and she took 10. 10.
Something like that. Yeah. She was
exactly.
resistant and then resistance. Yeah. That's about right. Yeah.
So at some point, if we feel like we're gonna die because we're not doing anything,
Right.
then that's
It's a tough one, right? Because you could make a fight really, really long. You could just give them a big fuck ton of hit points and then have you guys do the same damage that you would normally do to them. And then it just is like a slog fest. Okay, everybody does the exact same thing over and over and over again to the same degree. Okay, I do 100 hit points worth of damage.
I feel like there's got to be like my only beef is with big bads who are resistant to everything.
It wasn't resistant to everything.
Like, it's like I guess we just never found the weakness.
Well, wasn't it resistant to, Matt?
So I can bring up the
please do, because I feel like we hit that bitch with everything.
I thought it was fine. I actually thought the fight was okay. I was like, well,
I'm like, no, don't get me wrong. I'm not actually mad at the fight because it was the end of the game boss fight. It's supposed to be hard.
I like the first bit as well.
I'm not mad at that.
It was resistant to. Hold on one second.
It's all about managing expectations. So the reason that the other way works is generally people think, oh, something's happened later in the fight, and so people like there's already meta knowledge going to a fight, and you can subvert that a little bit, but it can be really hard to do that without it seeming.
But it's always still there.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean,
here's what it was resistant to. Here's what it was resistant to. It was resistant to force, radiant, fire, thunder, lightning.
What about?
It was immune to necrotic, cold, psychic, and acid.
What about bludgeoning, piercing?
There was like some like magical piercing that it was
resistant.
Taking...
It was resistant to bludgeoning, piercing, and slashing from magical attacks.
Okay.
And immune to piercing and slashing from non-magical attacks.
So was there any kind of was there any kind of weapon attack that it had no resistance or immunity to?
No.
But let me run through.
Was there any kind of magical attack? Sarah. Hold on. Just let me ask real quick.
Okay.
Was there any kind of magical attack that it had no resistance or immunity to?
Okay, we're going to run through them real quick. Does it have resistance to acid or immunity to acid?
Yes.
Cold?
Yeah.
Yes.
Fire?
Fire resistant.
Force?
Resistant.
Mm-hmm.
Lightning?
That.
Resistant.
Necrotic?
Immune.
Poison?
Everything, dude.
Yeah.
Hold on. Poison.
Are you serious?
Poison.
What?
No way we were ever going to get that.
Poison was the only
There was no way we were ever going to guess that in a million years.
Poison is the most common damage to be resistant.
Also the most common, actually immunity. Most very common immunity.
Yeah.
But like,
no,
yeah.
What about psychic?
Oh no, I tried
psychic immune.
It didn't work. Yeah,
so radiant?
Immune.
Immune was
resistant.
Thunder?
To radiant.
Thunder resistant.
So it was resistant to everything except for poison. Every single damage type.
Or immune, yeah. Except for poison.
Yeah, that's difficult as shit.
I don't even know if we had any way of doing poison.
There were 6 of you.
I could have done poison. I just had to use a sorcery point every time.
You were trying.
I could have cantrip poison at that bitch every time with the single sorcery point.
I'll be completely honest. I actually know in the heat of battle, I would have never ever asked for poison. That'd be my first thing. Especially for a creature that looks like that. She did acid damage.
Acid.
I thought she. Oh, okay. Because I never tried poison because I thought I'd seen her do poison.
We had
none of her attacks.
I've been meaning to ask.
Yeah.
So even if we did beat her, was there gonna be a third form?
No.
Really? Because I remember.
No, I actually asked Matt, and if we'd beat her,
but like
Hallister would have reformed after 10 days, and we would have done it all again.
No.
Like, here's the thing. Because I remember accidentally getting a peek at something.
Yeah, you saw a token that I chose that I didn't want to use.
What was that?
It's just a token. I had lots of different tokens that I thought were cool looking.
To be completely fair to Matt on this with the resistance thing, though, in the end, you tailor your HP based on your resistance anyway. So I don't think it's a big deal. That's my personal
opinion. Could have shot poison at her. Thought I saw her trying.
We would have never. I don't think you would have ever done that.
Yeah, because I never.
Oh no,
had
I
any
could
poison.
have. It would just cost me a sorcery point every
No,
time.
I'm saying I don't think you would have done it in battle. I think that would have been the last thing. And we'd have to go through the meta. We'd have to like, what did we use? We had to look through like, oh, poison's
No,
here.
but we were actually doing that in battle. Like Dagrin and I were shouting out at each other which types of damage we tried.
But, I mean, in the end, like I said, it doesn't matter that much because I think you tailor your HP to your.
I mean, it's
resistance
fine. Like I'm not mad at the end.
no
it's
one's
just,
mad.
And it's interesting to know that for some reason I thought someone else had ruled out poison, and that's why I never tried it.
I don't think we ever did. I think we roll acid because of the it doing acid damage to us.
I think it was mostly me and Dagrin were shouting out damage types back and forth to each other. And maybe you guys were too far away and not paying attention, but Dagrin and I definitely were.
Yeah, I know you were because it wasn't when we were paying attention. I can't do any extra kinds of damage. Most of my damage was slashing and radiant, and my slashing damage.
But like we got down to the point where he was like, "Well, the only things we haven't tried are blank and blank," and it seemed like no way, like poison wasn't even brought into the repertoire because I guess maybe we saw her minions shoot poison damage. I don't know.
No,
all I remember is Dagrin and I having a back and forth conversation about, because since I had a meta magic that lets me change my damage type, the only things I can't do are like necrotic, force, and radiant. But everything else I can make happen with a sorcery point. We're yelling back and forth about damage types, and poison never came up. So that could be us fucking up. It could be us fucking up. It's possible.
It's just kind of crazy because you would think like at the height, like the level we were at right now, most bosses or whatever creature we were facing at that point is, again, resistant or straight up immune to poison.
It's not a natural creature.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Damn, girls, that's the second bottle of wine right there.
Yeah, you got.
Damn, girl, you're gonna sleep well.
I think the only thing I would have preferred. It sounds strange. It always sounds strange to say this because like when things get hurt, they get weaker generally, and it's just always like this weird expectation that players have that when they get weaker, they get stronger and they can hurt you more. You know, and I mean, there's nothing wrong with doing the latter, the former. But it's just hard as players to know like what to expect, and that's why Sarah used the wish spell, obviously, because it looked like we weren't getting anywhere.
Yeah.
We were all about to die. Yeah,
which is fine. There's nothing wrong with that. That's kind of in a way kind of what you wanted. You wanted to look insurmountable. So
was Kyphon resistant to poison as well?
You mean the first stage?
Yes.
No.
Like I said, you tailor the HP to the resistances. I don't think it's that unreasonable. I think the resistance is the least of the problem.
Poison.
Poison. All right.
I think we're done, yeah.
I think we're done. Goodbye, Hallister. I'm ready for bed.
Oh, I'm gonna miss you.
We're gonna.
You know, we should totally get a commission of Matt hanging out with Hallister.
I am Hallister.
He is true.
I don't need to be hanging out with that fucking fool.
You're gonna do it in an art piece one day.
I'm just gonna wear a goddamn giant beard and have that cool staff that he's got with the two dragon.
I want to be there for this day.
I can't grow hair like Hallister. That's the only problem. Like Hallister has really great hair. It's all over the place, but I just can't grow it like that.
Matt, I'll come over and do a crepe hair beer on you.
Solid.
It'll be
Let's
great.
do it. Let's do it.
I could just. I can't help but totally imagine just you and Hallister just looking at the board, like the tabletop board, like, look at these fools. Like, you see this shit?
He's much meaner than I am as a DM. He's much meaner. He'd be like, "Why? Why can't you just make the last boss immune to everything? What the fuck? All right, what's wrong with you?" All right, that's it. I'm done. Goodbye, Dungeon of the Mad Mage. It was nice knowing you.
It was nice knowing you, all of you characters. It was a really lovely experience.
Yes. Onward and upward, I say. We're gonna have some interesting stuff going on here on Slices and Dices. Thank you guys all for tuning in. Thank you all for asking some cool questions and for being part of our quiz and for being part of our wrap up. And yeah, we will see where things move forward into the next campaign and the next other cool stuff that we'll be doing here on channel. But until we see each other again, my friends, remember, take care of each other. But do not forget to take care of yourselves. Have a wonderful night and a great weekend. See you soon. Thanks for
Lovely to
watching.
talk to you guys. Bye-bye.
Bye.